What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I think that I'm quite Diggins, actually.
I don't know if you're being Newt Scamander or everyone's favorite character.
Bunty.
We'll talk about her. Bunty, yeah. This is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details.
Woo!
Yeah, hooray.
This week. This week, we watched something die slowly before our eyes. It's very interesting, you know?
Bah.
Unusual you get to do that with a movie.
Yeah. It was, we may have seen, I don't know if I'm previewing Nando News of the Week, because we never prep for this podcast, at least as a group. Is it possible we've seen the last Ezra Miller film ever?
Man. Well, I mean, that they got one in the can that we're gonna have to see in a couple of years, whenever that comes out.
No, they're gonna Kevin Spacey him in that one.
Turn him into Kevin Spacey, a guy we all love who didn't do anything wrong. A guy who came out as gay once, and we all forgot the rest of it. Remember that?
Yeah, well, anyone who might have said otherwise is dead now. So,
Oh God, guys, Tig Notaro. I'm saying it right now. They did it with Army of the Dead. They can do it with The Flash. Just put in Tig Notaro. Let's
I think
go.
That could work, except remember Army of the Dead? We really want to replicate things from that? We want to not just leave that thing in the dust?
no, I think you'll find that it was the fan favorite movie of 2021 at the Oscars.
It's true. They did say that.
That's true. That was not going to be my news this week, but might as well. Because even though it is Grindelwald and like whatever related news, it is also Flash related news. But I did also.
And A Star is Born related news.
Oh my God, that too. I did want to mention real quick this week, the Thor Love and Thunder trailer came out. Either of you guys see that?
Yes.
Really? Huh.
I don't really
What's
seek
up?
out trailers. I prefer to see them in the theater.
You're one of those, huh?
Well, then we won't talk about it. It had
Wait.
Thor in it. It's got all
All
this
right.
stuff. I don't know.
I don't care if you talk about it. I
Thing.
don't need to be not spoiled for a trailer. It's fine.
Here's what we do. With Diggins, you jump off the call, and then Nando and I will talk about it, and then you can come back on and give us your thoughts.
Sure.
Perfect.
Or we can skip it. I don't know.
Now that Diggins is gone, DJ.
Okay, yeah, what's up?
So they made him. They're doing a Thor 4. Did you see it? The
Uh,
trailer?
No, but whatever.
Wait, you didn't see it either? Okay, DJ, jump off the call real quick.
All right.
I will talk about it, and then DJ comes back, and we'll talk about what DJ thought of that. And then Diggins will come back after that, talk about what Diggins thought.
All right, great. Sounds good. All right, I'm jumping off the call. All right, bye.
See ya. Okay, it had Thor in it, and what else? I don't know. They had some bits from the comics and stuff. They put in his original costume. Looks great. All right, DJ can come back on now. DJ.
Hey, you guys done?
Yeah. I am finished. Just me.
Okay, all right. So honestly, what I think about it is the fact that we're getting a Thor Father Stu crossover is just crazy to me, and about goddamn time, if I'm being honest. It's I need more Mel Gibson in certain things, so putting whatever his character is from Father Stu into the Thor Love and Thunder universe is just a win, in my opinion.
I mean, I know very little about Father Stu, even though I think canonically in the podcast, like lore, I have seen it. But I think it has something to do with God, right? So
yeah, it does. Yeah.
This new Thor movie is about Gore the God Butcher, who kills the gods he doesn't like. So maybe Father Stu has to team up with Thor to protect Christian God. I'm assuming.
Exactly.
Yeah, that could be it. We didn't see that in the trailer though. They got to save something for. There's a shot where it's like Thor standing next to Korg, and then there's a big empty space next to him where there's a character that's definitely edited out of the trailer.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
That's probably Father Stu.
Father Stu, yeah. Probably Father Stu.
Is Father Stu Mark Wahlberg or Mel Gibson?
Mark Wahlberg.
Okay, what's Mel Gibson's guy?
I have no idea.
The Gringo? What
yeah.
What other characters has he played? I don't know.
Fat Man? Is he Fat Man?
Oh, is he in that?
Yeah, well, he is the Fat Man in Fat Man.
Nice.
We should do Fat Man. That'd be a funny movie to nitpick, except probably don't want to do.
It's probably boring. What Women Want? Now, that's a movie that he was in. I don't remember his name, though, but it's probably something Mann, like John Mann or something.
John
The movie's
Mann.
not good. Diggins, you want to come back on?
Yeah, here, I'm back. I just happened to come back right now when you said that.
Good. Well, yeah, so what did you think of whatever this
Marvel
bit is? What we said or what the trailer was?
Marvel continue to be cowards who refuse to give the people Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, you're still on this one, eh?
I'll be on it until they give me my goddamn Thors.
Well, would you be okay with it if Mel Gibson played him? Maybe that's who he plays in Father Stew.
Oh no!
Beta Ray Bill,
monkey's paw.
Classic Thor character, Horseman. I forget what their race is. Something. I don't know.
Oh god, I
You
used
all
to know
this
the name
stuff.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll all find out again in 2 months when it shows up in the post-credits scene in a big tube of government. We've had the Beta Ray Bill project in storage for 50 years. God, I'm really blanking on this. I think it starts with a C. I don't know. Anyway, you guys,
Yeah.
But yeah, so they did that trailer. Let's talk about the disaster at Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Which
happens
one?
to this
Pick your
Flash movie?
favorite.
Well, okay. First, a little background. So, and it's sad, but it's also perplexing. Like, I just don't understand what's going on.
Surplexing.
It is perplexing. Like, if you beat up people the first time, they just let you go.
I mean,
I
yes?
think, were they not pressing charges? Because, like, he could have been, like, taken into custody because he was being disorderly, but they don't press charges, and so he doesn't have to, like, face trial or anything. I don't know if that's what happened, but that is a situation that could happen.
That may be what happened. But, yeah, so for people that don't know, Ezra Miller, star of this movie, kind of, not really.
He's certainly in it.
Yeah, and The Flash, and I don't know, some other stuff. They got a big fight originally at a karaoke bar in Hawaii over a song that should not be done at a karaoke bar, so, nothing wrong with that. But then they went a little too far. And that was
Nando
news.
saying Ezra Miller was right to get violent over the singing of In the Shallows from The Star is Born.
I'm much like Joker. Or not Joker, Riddler. I agree with his, with the Riddler, I agree with his,
Goals?
what he's going for, but his methods are a little extreme for my taste. But, yeah.
A little.
So that happened a week ago or two. And they, also followed someone to their home, I think, and, threatened to kill them and stole their passports or some shit. It's insane.
I think I remember hearing something about that, yeah.
So that was thing one, and that happened, and we all went, oh man, that's weird. And then thing two was this week. The other day, they were at a party, and someone asked them to leave, and then they threw a chair at her, and the person that they threw the chair at seems to be fine, but then they went to jail again, or got arrested again in Hawaii. That's pretty crazy.
Do they live in Hawaii? Why are they in Hawaii so much?
Right? The crime capital of the world, Hawaii. It's insane.
You know what that's missing from this story is that all of those people were in the North Carolina chapter of the KKK or whatever.
Oh, it comes full circle. Yeah.
That's true. Only in the North Carolina chapter of the KKK could be so terrible as to do The Shallow at karaoke. That is... Or wait, is that what that song's called?
It's called Shallows or The Shallows or In the Shallows. Okay. It's one of those words.
Yeah. I know there was... Remember that movie with Blake Lively where it was
where she was being hunted by a shark and was standing on some rock a little way away from a beach?
Yeah, I think that one was also called The Shallow. So that kind of confused me. But, so it's not great. I hope they sort this out. I hope as a person, Ezra Miller is fine. But man, what a weird position to be in at Warner Brothers right now. What do you think they're thinking?
I mean, they're just well, we'll keep going. Right? They're not going to redo anything with The Flash, right? They don't have any options. That movie's made. They got to fucking release it, right? I saw, again, I went to AMC again, and I saw... the DC trailer.
the wrong one?
Yeah, before Harry Potter now this time. I don't understand.
That's incredible.
Oh boy, you think they'd have fixed it by now.
Well, no, I think they paid a lot of money for that trailer, and DC's just fuck it. Just play it. We don't care.
You can't send them an update and be hey, here, just this will update it, change the dates. It's all digital now. It's not like they have to send out new film canisters.
Yeah, right. But maybe they do have to for AMC stuff. Maybe Nicole Kidman is like, that's the only way we're doing this.
Oh, God. Somehow heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is heartbreaking
so true.
that the Flash movie isn't coming out this year.
I feel like what the WB executives are going to do are wait to see how mad people get at Ezra Miller, and then if they're not that mad, then just not care about it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I do think so. But also, it's so weird because it is the whole thing. Like, it's the whole cinematic universe seems to hinge on the Flash movie.
Well, at least them resetting it, right?
Yeah,
the
and
whole
like
plan.
Well, and it seems like the Batman in that movie is going to be Michael Keaton, and then that Batman is probably... I know Michael Keaton is in the Batgirl movie, and it seems like that takes place after this. So, are they going to delay that? Or are they just going to pretend we all saw it? And be like,
that would be amazing. Can you imagine if they're like... They just do, like, whatever Batman movie. It's like, after the Flashpoint happened, everything's different now. And everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
If they treat the Flashpoint in any way like Marvel tends to treat the Snap, then it will just be someone saying like, boy, that Flashpoint happened, and then they don't really talk about it ever again.
No. They have to do better. Politicians, do better about the Flashpoint.
Oof.
There's too many problems the Flashpoint caused, and here's the solution. Don't do bad things with Captain America's shield. Do good things instead.
Nando, you seem to I think this is a great transition to talk about the movie we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Speaking of don't do bad things, do good things instead, we got to talk about a movie that is full of interesting politics. It's mostly interesting politics. People walking around holding cases and interesting politics happening in the background. Who is in charge of the IMDb B as in spelling bee this week?
Diggins?
I believe it is you, Nando, because
Nando? Wow.
I was in charge of it last week about
Sonic.
Sonic.
I was robbed.
You were not robbed.
Not even
you
close.
Lost. You did a good job, but Nando did a better job.
I did
feel
do a
robbed. Don't take away my rights. Don't you dare take away my rights.
All right. Well, you know what? To be fair, here's what I'll do. Instead of judging in a normal way, I am going to let Mortimer sniff you both. And whichever one Mortimer deems worthy wins the IMDb of B spelling bee thing.
No, Nando. Mortimer doesn't pick. Mortimer just heavily influences the vote.
Oh, okay.
Which we can just do by acclamation afterwards. We don't have to
that's
actually have any
true,
formal vote. Which it kind of seems like was the case to begin with, because it's not like they had set up any booths or anything.
No, just their wands. It's open ballot. You know.
That's true.
It's all good.
So, guys, we have to talk about a movie that came out this week or last week.
Came out.
No one knows.
I think by the time this podcast is out, last week would definitely be the correct thing to say.
We're on the pulse.
And we got to talk about it because this movie is the hot new thing that everyone loves.
Oh, everyone's
Fantastic
talking about it.
Beasts,
Yeah.
The Secrets of Dumbledore.
If box office is anything to go by, everybody's seeing this movie.
I can't wait for the Morbius crossover. I think we need to get Morbius involved. That's how we save this.
The people are clamoring for more BS.
Yeah,
Hey.
maybe that's who Vulture wanted to team up with.
Dumbledore?
Grindelwald?
Credence? Grindelwald?
Yeah, Grindelwald, part of the Sinister Six. Okay.
He is sinister.
He is sinister, and he's, I don't know, equally kind of all over the place morally, so he'd fit right in with all of them.
And this movie is equally bad at counting.
You guys, we got a movie to talk about. I got an IMDb summary in front of me. We all know where it came from. What happens is, I'm going to do this joke twice in like 2 minutes. A bunch of IMDb summaries are written, and a barely born calf has to walk up to one and kneel in front of it, and that means that it is the IMDb summary that we go with. It goes straight into IMDb. I assume it's written by Nifflers or whatever, 'cause I don't know who writes them, but that is how it is chosen. So sometimes it's correct, but sometimes there's some sort of trickery, and the result is less than stellar. I have it in front of me. Who goes first? Diggins?
Well, it's my choice.
DJ.
Oh, no, DJ. It is DJ's choice as last week's loser.
I'm the sad boy.
That's
And
right. So would you like to go first or second?
Yeah, I'll go first. Whatever. This is
All right.
stupid. All right.
Go nuts.
Okay. Oh gosh. Newt Scamander must rally the forces of good to aid Dumbledore in taking down the evil wizard Grindelwald, who was recently cleared of all charges, by ensuring that a mystical beast does not fall into Grindelwald's evil hands.
Okay. Diggins?
Okay. In the latest installment of J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World,
Good call.
Albus Dumbledore must rely on his good friend Newt Scamander to confront the evil wizard Grindelwald because of the mysterious pact they made many years ago that prevents him from interfering.
This is a really tricky one. I don't think either of you got all that close to it.
Oof.
The only things both of you did was name the only 3 characters named in the thing.
Okay.
Like, which is, fine. I'm gonna do a toss-up thingy.
Oh, fun. Always do well at these.
So let me find something real quick. Let me find something on this IMDb page.
We haven't had a good tiebreaker in a while, honestly. I think it's good to mix it up every once in a while.
That's right.
If I say that I very much align myself with the trans community, can I automatically win?
I think you would automatically lose.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna find something fun. I mean, we could do box office, but I don't think that's quite as fun.
Also,
I'll start the bidding at $1. $1.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking up the trivia.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
We should do this based on whether anyone can successfully identify Poppy Corby-Tooch as Vinda.
Oh my God. Is there nothing in the summary that we missed that we could try?
This one. Wait, what did you say, DJ?
Is there nothing in the summary itself that we missed that we could try and guess or ascertain?
Not really. It's very short. I'll read it
Oh.
to you.
Okay.
Because I do want to do that before I forget. It is just after Albus Dumbledore assigns Newt and his allies with a mission related to the rising power of Grindelwald.
Wow.
That's stupid.
Yeah, not a whole lot there.
Wouldn't that describe the second movie also?
Oh my God, it would describe the second
true.
movie also.
Well, kind of almost. Well, I guess it wouldn't describe the first one, but there's not a whole lot there. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm going to look up a trivia fact.
Okay.
I'll find a good one. Okay. How about this? This isn't as fun, though. Okay. Hold on.
DJ, could you tell me which character in this movie is Vinda, played by Poppy Corby-Tooch? This isn't the tiebreaker, obviously, since I'm saying it, but I'm curious if you could identify her.
No. That's not his girlfriend, right? That's a different character.
Whom's girlfriend?
Newt's.
No, that's Catherine Waterston as Porpentina Goldstein. That was it.
Is it the one that's like Gal Gadot kind of? That's what I call this character. It's one of the bad guys.
Yeah, she's the woman who's always hanging around Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Let us do evil things.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. All right. How about this? It's an interesting bit of trivia.
Give it to me.
Okay. According to various media reports, because of his pay-or-play contract, Johnny Depp, who filmed one scene of this movie, received his full salary.
What?
How much was that salary?
Oh.
According to various media reports.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Salary.
So, I'm going to say I'm not doing Price is Right rules. I'll say...
Just whoever's closest?
Just straight up closest?
Just straight up closest. DJ, you can elect to go first or second.
I have to go second. I know nothing about
Diggins. How much?
I'm gonna go with $15 million.
DJ.
Okay, so now I know it's not Price is Right rules, but if it's whoever's closer, I'm basically picking an over/under, right?
I mean,
yeah,
if you want to be a dick about it.
I mean, I'm here to win. All right, I just know nothing about Hollywood salaries. I'm gonna be a dick about it. $15,001, please.
The actual retail price of Johnny Depp one scene pay or play contract? $16 million solid.
So close.
Yeah.
Yep, you were pretty close. If you'd said $16 million, then you would have won. Like, if you
Yeah,
were 1
it's
million
true.
off, but I
You
was
would
like,
have got the $500 or whatever.
yeah, you would have got the $500 in my pocket, or Drew Carey's pocket if I could wrestle away from him. But you guys, we got to talk about this movie.
Unfortunately, yeah, we do.
Although, Diggins, Diggins and DJ, real quick, I have some breaking news.
Oh, no. Breaking. We never get those.
Is it more? Did Miller get arrested again?
No, not yet. According to reports, let me see. I want to make sure this is real.
Oh, no. Did you get Ballsack Sports?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, there's like a Twitter account called Ballsack Sports that gives like fake like sports things, and someone will read like, Aaron Rodgers traded to the Baltimore Ravens as of Ballsack Sports, and it's like there's like a fake sports account that reports like fake sports news. And
Oh
their name
no,
is
yeah,
Ballsack
that's not
Sports.
this. It seems like I'm trying to find an actual announcement besides this one website. Wait, let's see if they have something that says why. It would appear that the year of the multiverse may get pushed back a little bit.
Oh,
according to this thing I'm reading on Twitter right now, which I will definitely edit out if I'm wrong. Across the Spider-Verse has been pushed back to next year.
oh no!
Yeah.
That's the animated movie.
Yeah, that's the good one instead of the bad ones. That is the opposite of a Morbius.
Well, that means Thanos' prediction is going to be wrong, right?
I mean, Doctor Strange is still helping big time.
And I really think Everything Everywhere All at Once, just out of nowhere, that probably really helped you, right?
Video games too. They keep making those video games.
The Kirby game's a multiverse game.
Yeah, Disney's
Is it?
making one too. Did you guys see this? It's like Sully in like power armor and stuff coming through a portal and fighting Maleficent. Yeah, so
It isn't Kingdom Hearts. It's like some different shit.
yeah, although there is a new Kingdom Hearts game. Anyway,
Yeah, sure.
DJ, you
Yes.
tell us, what did you think of this movie?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I feel like I talk about my theater experiences a lot, but there wasn't much to talk about because it was very empty. What I did, and I'm not
Mine
trying
too.
to be. Yeah, I'm not
There's
trying
only
to be all
one
like,
other person, one other living thing with me.
I'm not trying to be all principled and cool, but I actually bought a ticket for Sonic the Hedgehog, and then I just went into the theater for Grindelwald.
DJ, I'm actually a movie theater policeman, and this entire podcast has been a sting operation to
No!
catch you in the act. You've
know.
now
Dang it.
admitted to your crime. You're going to jail for a long time, young man.
Oh, that's a bummer. How long? How long is a long time?
Let's see. For buying a ticket to one movie and then going to see another movie, that carries a penalty of 20 years. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That makes sense.
Zero tolerance is the only way.
Can I at least finish the podcast?
Nope. Well, you know what?
Good behavior?
Yeah, you just this once, okay?
Yeah.
But never again.
Oh, thanks, guys.
After
Yeah.
this, the podcast will be over because I won't have to be part of this undercover operation anymore, and DJ will be in jail.
No, you're an agent of gun? Is that what this was? This relationship with us, this podcast form, was all just a clever ruse?
Yes, I've been an agent of gun this whole time just to catch DJ the Hedgehog.
Damn it. Oh,
Well,
well.
I appreciate the dedication.
Gotta do it, yeah.
It would have made more sense to come to my house. You know where I live, but
That's not how gun works.
It's
Gun works in
that's what I think,
mysterious
Grindelwald.
ways.
Okay. So I honestly tried to go into this movie with an open mind, like as best I could. And I'll be honest, like in the beginning, I was like, it's not terrible. Like I see what they're going for. Little kind of like, oh, we're gonna do like a reverse heist or whatever. I'm like, it's okay. It's not bad. But then it gets like really meandering and not a lot happens and it gets really boring. And after the 2 hour mark, I'm like, wow, this movie really sucks. They should stop making these movies. And I got like real bored real fast. I don't know. They should stop making these movies. They're bad. And like, what kills me is I, in general, kind of like the Harry Potter universe. And I feel like there's something there to be like, oh, what if we talked about what was just happening in the world with magic? But like, I don't know, man. Just like wrap up too much like Nazi shit in this movie. And just the Newt Scamander is a terrible protagonist. So we should have way less of his ass. So yeah, I just don't want to deal with these anymore if I can help it. But I don't know. We get into more
You may
Warner
not
Brothers.
have to help it. You may-
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I should
Yeah.
get these two others from Warner Brothers. But so those are my thoughts. It's a bad movie. No one should see it. If you really want to see it because like you love Harry Potter, go see like a goddamn buy a ticket for Sonic and then go see it. Just don't give her any more money. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this trash fire of a movie.
Wow. Diggins, what about you?
Ms. Rowling, the movie you've just made is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever seen. At no point in your rambling, incoherent script were you even close to anything that could be considered a point. Everyone in this podcast is now dumber for having watched it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Wow. All right.
It took me a second to recognize it, but then I got it. Very good. Very
That's
good.
how I feel. It's a rambling, incoherent mess that undermines any point it could even be potentially be thought of trying to make. It's stupid, pointless, and not fun to watch. There's absolutely no reason to see it.
Facts.
Yeah, that's true.
Nando.
It sucks. I didn't
Nando,
like
what
it
did you
either. I
think?
thought it was boring. I think these are mostly boring. Most of the Harry Potter movies are boring, but at least the Harry Potter kids are good in them. I'm not saying anybody in this is bad in this necessarily. Well, that's not true. But I don't think... Yeah, I know. I don't think the main characters are any good in these. But, yeah. So these movies stink. And also, it's really not like confusing, but like it's so weird how convoluted these movies are.
I would say this movie is confusing, honestly.
Sure, yeah, that's true. I would say it's confusing, but in a specific way. Like these movies, I don't know, they're just terrible. They're really bad. They're worse than Morbius.
They have these
Worse than Morbius. Hello.
Worse than Morbius.
They're obsessed with having. Well, actually, the first one wasn't really like this. It only had that one big twist. But the second one and this one have this weird structure where it's like everything has to be. There's so many reveals and layers of convolution. Like, it's not that there's so much going on. It's that we have to be wrong about what's going on like 5 times in the movie before we're allowed to actually know. And there's ways to make that work. But this is just like someone shows up and goes, the thing you thought is this other thing. And then we don't do anything about that and it doesn't matter. And that just happens like 20 times and then the movie's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful. Like, how do we get here, you know?
Warner Brothers is so thirsty for money, they'll do literally anything. And Joe will just write scripts and be evil on Twitter,
So DJ is actually quite close, I think. Because I think it is a combination of, Warner Brothers is thirsty for money, and Harry Potter is a huge franchise that they think is going to make them lots of money. The other side of part of it, though, is that Joanne is extremely controlling of the property.
Yeah.
Which, on a one level is understandable. You made something, you want to have a hand in what happens to it. But she's so controlling that she does things that she doesn't really know how to do. Such as writing the script to a movie. Like, having a convoluted plot with a lot of weird twists and turns. Like, when you think about it, the Harry Potter books are kind of the same way. But the thing is, in a book, you can very clearly and carefully, lay out what is happening. So that even if the plot is kind of convoluted, the reader is never confused about what is happening because it's a book and you just explain it. But a movie is a visual medium and it moves too quickly to just constantly have long drawn out explanations for why something is not what you thought it was. And she does not know how to convey that information in a concise or visual way, so that you end up with these rambling scripts that seem like they're missing pages and go nowhere. Because she doesn't know how to write a movie. That's not even a criticism of her. She's a novelist. That's not a skill set she's had to develop. But then let someone else write the movie. You could even, have control of the story. Be like, this is what I want to happen. But let someone else write it who knows how to write a movie so it's not so bad. Ugh.
But instead, what if she wrote it? Then maybe it would be the one that, she would get paid money twice?
She's the only one who knows Harry Potter. I do think she has, a level of control that she just, can't see anyone else having a vision for Harry Potter, right? She's the only one who knows how a boy wizard does boy wizarding, right?
Yeah.
Which sucks, right? There are fans who, love this. They love it. They will see everything that she vomits out of her hole because, that's how fandom works. But, at some fucking point, it's God damn it, lady. You suck because you suck for all of your, backwards thoughts. But also, you clearly can't write, good movie anymore. It's past you. It's
she could never write good movie. I don't think she
Right,
wrote the
that's fair.
screenplays
Sorry, yeah.
to the Harry Potter adaptations.
Right, so it's like you can't make good movies, so stop, right? It's like...
But yeah, that's the perfect example of what I'm talking about. Like, the Harry Potter movies are based on books she wrote. And, like, no comment from me on the quality of those movies. But if you like those movies, they were, adapted to a visual medium by screenwriters who know how writing a movie works based on her material. And so I think, again, like, not even giving into a value judgment of, like, whether or not I like those movies. They are much clearer, more coherent pieces of filmmaking than these are.
Oh yeah, it's insane. It's insane how bad this movie is.
I saw there were like things going around on the internet like, this one they kind of sort of figured it out. It's starting to get a lot better, and I'm like, no, what movie did you watch?
Yeah, I heard that too. I'm also confused about that because it sucks. It's not good.
I think that across the three movies, this one is, by comparison, the most coherent.
I disagree. I think
it's bad,
and
I think everything I said is right. But
like,
you think the first one's more coherent?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't like the first one. I don't think it's a good movie. But the first one's not like super complicated the way this one is. The first one has the one twist with credence, and then the final twist that's stupid but doesn't really affect the plot at all. But like, that's it. Otherwise it's just he's going around New York, he's getting his magical creatures, and then sometimes he fights an evil wizard. It's
a fetch quest. I guess the only argument is like they're all lying, but that's like my only explanation is that like there's a little bit more coherence going on in this one. Also, I do think Jude Law and Mads Mikkelsen can really trick you into thinking that this is an okay movie. Because they're pretty good in this movie.
Yeah, I think they're good at their jobs.
Yeah, like they're good actors. And good actors on a screen, even if the source material's dog shit, is sometimes enough to like get movie audiences to be like, oh, this is like pretty good. And you already have enough goodwill with some Harry Potter fans. I mean, not enough clearly. Like the box office numbers were horrendous, but... Like, I legit know, I want to say people, but like one person, which is like really, anecdotal at its max, but who like enjoyed the movie, thought it was good, loves Harry Potter stuff, and was like, yeah, I'll keep seeing them if they keep making them,
Wow, way to throw your wife under the bus.
Wow. Anyone knows my wife, though she's not a Harry Potter stan.
I know.
It's obviously me under a pseudonym.
Whoever it was.
It's me.
No. DJ loves them. You loved it. That'd be so funny if that was the whole thing. I was like, you know what? I did really like it, though. All of the things I said before, misdirection. Ha ha ha. Classic Harry Potter move. You thought I didn't like it, but actually I did.
I think I was okay with it up until, like, the prison scene. That's where it lost me. But up until then, I'm like, this is fine. There's total downhill. Total crater.
Really? I feel like
I was totally baffled by what was happening well before then.
Yeah, the prison scene was the only part that I was like, oh, I kind of know what's going on here. This is like a movie. But then the rest of it was not that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I was confused. And I started watching this. I'm like, oh, wait. I haven't watched Crimes of Grindelwald since I saw it in theaters however many years ago. So, like, I could not remember jack shit about, like, the blood charm and Credence's shit and if Nagini was going to show up and, like, all that shit, right?
Yeah, what happened to that one?
The actress was very pregnant while they were filming, so she was not able to make an appearance.
Was there any bit where they said her name or were like, oh man, wish Nagini was here? Right?
Nope. Not
so
once.
Weird.
So yeah, like all that is to say, like I was pretty lost, but I was kind of picking up the pieces. I like Mr. Kowalski.
You are like Kowalski.
Him and his little frying pan right out of Tangled. I was like, oh, that could be like a weapon.
It's like a weapon.
Wouldn't it be fun if at some point in the movie it was used as a weapon? Well, too fucking bad.
Yeah.
No, he's got a sick wand.
What if that was the end of it? What if he they beat up Grindelwald and then Grindelwald went for something and then he just got smacked in the face with a frying pan like Wile E. Coyote? That would be great.
I mean, Nando, anything on the table would have been fine.
Are you suggesting a finale in which Grindelwald is undone because he has overlooked the stinkin' no-mage who he thinks is incapable of anything? Why?
No.
What a thematically satisfying conclusion to this movie that would have been.
No. In fact, it's better that they did it this way, where they pointed their wands at each other, because that's all this franchise ever wants to do. Just lays lightsabers but wands. It's great.
We'll get to the end. We'll get to the end.
But
I want to get to the end now. Can we talk about the end now? Because I all my nitpicks are at the end.
I feel like we got to talk about the beginning a little bit, because
I know.
I have so many nitpicks at every point in the movie. We gotta go
good.
in order.
Yeah, the beginning was the part that almost lost me. Like, because, first of all right. So for people that don't know, this movie takes place after the second one. We've done a podcast on the second one.
Typical of sequels.
It would be worth it listening to that again just to kind of figure out what's going on here. Because like me and DJ were saying, I don't really remember what happened in it that well.
I would say read the Wikipedia summary, but the plots of these movies, if you just read them written down, don't make any fucking sense at all.
Yeah, there's characters in this, and characters that are not in this from the last one that I had to be like, oh, I guess she died in that, or oh, I guess that one's not in these anymore. And then others that came back, and I was like, were you in the last one? And they were, and it's so okay. So in the beginning, Dumbledore and Grindelwald do what?
They have a date in a restaurant.
But then,
do they? We should talk about this. Dumbledore confirmed gay. Like finally.
By like 2 lines that can easily be cut out for China or Russia or wherever else you want to release it.
Sure.
But technically gay, like more gay than in previous material where it was never spoken about ever, and we got tweets about it or whatever.
Can I tell you guys?
Yeah.
The moment when he says like "I love you, Grindelwald," gasps in the theater.
What? Get up!
I know, right?
Are you serious? Goddamn.
I'm serious.
That makes. I hate guys. Well, wait. Here's what's more surprising. There were enough people in your theater to gasp?
Well, I mean, there were only a few, but the people who were there gasped.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Could we take an aside? Because I do have like a movie theater story to talk about.
I can't wait. What do you got?
Absolutely. How has the witch blighted you this week?
No. This is like, I feel like I owe you guys like a thank you. Because this is based on a podcast, I think, from like months ago. But remember you guys like made fun of me because I talked about how like sneaking things into movie theaters is impossible? Like bottles of wine or whatever.
Sounds like something
right.
we'd say.
And I told you about the sacred compact.
Right. So, okay. As long as you do the minimum amount of effort, you're fine, right? That was the sacred compact?
The sacred compact between movie theater goer and movie theater usher is that as long as you make even the barest effort, that they will pretend they don't know you're sneaking things in. Yes.
So, the mall where I went to see the AMC, there was like a lobster roll truck parked outside. And I'm like, fuck, I want like a lobster roll. But like, the movie's starting. So I'm like, all right. I heard Diggins' inner voice inside me. And I was like, ooh. I'm going to buy a lobster roll and sneak it into the movie theater. So I get my lobster roll, I get a soda, and I'm wearing a hoodie. So like I put the lobster roll like inside the pocket of my hoodie, made me look like I had a big belly, and I'm like, there's no way this is gonna work. And I had the root beer in like my back pocket, and I go in, they scan my thing, I walk in like nothing, and then I'm like, holy shit, it worked. And like I'm in the movie theater, I'm eating a lobster roll, such a good feeling. Such a good feeling. I was on cloud 9. Maybe that's why I was so high on the movie, because I was eating a lobster roll. What was that?
You brought seafood into a movie theater?
Yeah, lobster roll, yeah.
Oh my god.
What?
You're worse than Grindelwald.
What? How is that bad?
I guess that's a good way to get people to put their masks on.
There was someone in the theater. I was all the way in the back.
Listen, Nando, he couldn't possibly have ruined anyone's theater experience more than watching this movie did.
It's true.
Do you really think bringing seafood in is like that much of a sin?
I mean, I don't love it. There's something about it. I don't know.
Oh man, the only thing I was missing, like inside the little thing they gave me had like a little bit of butter and lemon, so like I had that on. It was like warm. It was so good.
It reminds me of the person at work who microwaves tuna, right? Like it's just
different.
Like,
it's different.
If you say so.
Also, I can't emphasize enough like how empty my movie theater was. I went like on a Monday like evening, and there was like one other couple way in the front. Like I was on my phone during the theater because I was just in the back by myself. Like it was no problem. I'm telling you. There's no way it was an issue. Like, would I do it with a full theater? I don't know, maybe. But, like, my point of this story is it was such a good feeling, and I want to thank you two for, like, making me realize that, like, there are no rules inside movie theaters. I could just bring like probably a full bag of Wendy's. I'll do next time.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I mean, if it makes the movie theater experience better for you.
I loved
you
it. I was so happy.
Next week,
I was
he's gonna
like
bring his
noshing on a
tablet
lobster
in.
roll.
Play tablet games.
Yeah. Wait till I bring my son into the movie theater and be like, here you go, Junior. No problem.
Now, you guys, we got to talk. So, okay. But wait. So
Sorry for the derailment, but yeah. There's, yeah.
Grindelwald and friend and Dumbledore are in a restaurant, right?
Yep.
Yeah, talking to each other about the blood pact they made.
So I saw somebody bring this up on Twitter, and I agree. What is happening? Are they?
By somebody, you mean Jenny Nicholson?
Yeah. Are they really there?
Yeah, I was gonna do it. Hey, quick quiz, guys. I looked it up and know what is happening here. Tell me, what do you think? Where is the scene taking place, and how are they having this meeting? And also, when is it? Just give me all those little details there.
Oh my god. All right. So I'm going to guess that it's happening right after the events of episode 2, movie 2. Is that wrong?
Interesting. Yeah, I don't have
what
an
about,
interest.
What about where and how?
It's inside Dumbledore's mind.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with most of that. I do think it's more like even not like dumber, but like they're on the astral plane or something, like projecting themselves onto it. I don't think the place exists. Why it is doesn't make any sense to me. But because it doesn't exist, it can't exist. As far as the one, I have no idea. I couldn't even guess. What is it, Diggins?
So the when is simply chronological in the movie. So, it's just a thing that happens before all the other events of the movie. But after the events of the last movie, somewhat ambiguous as to exactly when. But yeah, basically DJ was correct.
Okay.
And so therefore was Nando. Everything else, wrong, idiots!
What was it?
Okay.
Clearly, the fact that they have a sacred blood pact means that their minds are connected at all points, and they can go to this magical little mental realm in their brains where they can talk to each other, and they could do this at any point at any time. A fact that is super obvious in the movie.
Yeah, that was weird.
Wait. Okay. Who are the people in the restaurant?
They're fake. They're just fake people.
So he was just
Muggles.
dogging on like muggles for making tea because it's fun or whatever.
Yeah, it's like white noise. You know how
yes, he was gesturing to fake muggles to make his point about how they're animals or fucking whatever.
Yeah, it was pretty weird.
I kind of feel like it was originally filmed as they were physically present, and then they decided to change it, and they just added the effects later or something.
It would make sense. Like, there's no reason they can't meet with each other. They can all teleport, and those two can't kill each other, so...
And some things that happen later in the movie that mean there's no problem with meeting with Grindelwald.
That's true. So yeah, I don't know what that was about. It was really dumb.
Mm-hmm. But they talk about how they were in love, but now they want different things.
Yeah, a lot of couples have this issue. It's very, very easy to relate to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I do want to touch on this a little bit because I was confused about this going in because the movie is called The Secrets of Dumbledore. Now, what was the secret? What specifically? What was the secret of Dumbledore?
Nando, you see, the trick here is that Dumbledore is a last name.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
Say which
but
Dumbledore.
Still, what was the secret of I know what the secret, like the secret that they say is the secret doesn't matter, but
That's
this
true.
seems like the secret is that he's gay, and it's not like a reveal, but I would assume
Is that the secret?
like the other thing, like I might as well be.
Well, no, because I think it's what Dance was saying, that you're assuming it's Albus Dumbledore that has the secret, but maybe it's Aberford.
But like
Aberforth.
So
Aberforth.
I would say those, while the secret of Dumbledore, are more just like the details of Dumbledore.
Yeah,
because they're details
the
we
pointless
don't know,
details of
but
Dumbledore that mean nothing.
Yeah, they don't matter, and they don't really change anything.
To be fair,
It is a secret.
almost nothing in this movie matters.
Yeah,
It's true.
like in the end of the last movie, you get the thing that it's like you're a Dumbledore, Harry, to Albert, or to not Albert,
To Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Creedence Clearwater Revival. Yeah. So he says you're a Dumbledore, and then it's like okay, and then we all went kind of wait, what what does that mean? Is he Dumbledore's brother? Is this guy? And it didn't seem like as much of a secret. It's just like a, I don't know, missing piece of information, but apparently it's a secret.
It is a secret.
But this is
That's
the secret,
very
that he's
important.
gay. He's not telling people it. It is actively a secret, right?
It's true. I don't. Yeah, he doesn't really seem to talk about it with anyone else. It seems like only him and his brother know about it.
Yeah. So, like, I understand that this wasn't the secret, but also this was the secret. It's so
Him
weird.
being gay? Is that like the coded secret? Is that what you're saying?
I just mean, like, this is the most interesting secret a Dumbledore keeps in the movie.
That he's gay.
That he is gay and had a relationship with Grindelwald as, like, boyfriends or whatever. But then, because nobody knows that. And I feel like it's very important.
I guess the lover part is the most interesting thing. It's like, you do crazy things when you're in love.
Yeah, so weird.
Although I guess he does tell Theseus and Newt, sort of. Because the next thing that happens after this confusing restaurant scene in their minds, in their mind palace constructed from their blood magic,
Yep.
is that Newt takes his brother Theseus to visit Dumbledore in Aberforth's house.
Right.
And Dumbledore is like, I need you to help me stop Grindelwald because of my blood magic. And Theseus asks him, why did you do a blood magic? And Dumbledore says, love. And then some other reasons so that we can just cut out that first part for other countries.
Yeah. I guess that's true. They do find out the secret of Dumbledore.
I have a question / nitpick.
Yep.
So he says if he even thinks about moving against Grindelwald, then the magical chain will like fucking kill him, right?
Yes.
Apparently.
And in fact,
So-
demonstrates this.
Yes. So like, how is he allowed to formulate a plan where like he and his cohorts go after Grindelwald, but like it's totally fine?
Now, DJ, that's a great question, and I also thought this was a plot hole, but by the end of the movie, I realized it's actually brilliant. You see, Dumbledore has deliberately concocted a plan so stupid and unnecessarily convoluted that the blood magic will be like, well, this will never work. So it doesn't even count it as being moving against Grindelwald because it's just such a bad plan.
It's so batshit crazy.
Yeah,
That's a really good point.
So that's why it never activates.
I guess that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it is so weird that Dumbledore has this magic, but there's also, this like humongous loophole in it that the movie kind of passes the entire plot through, but it doesn't, like, it is never really resolved outside of just most of that didn't matter anyway. A lot
Also-
of the movie could not have happened, and the movie would have been the same.
Also, like, as the seventh Harry Potter book puts it, the situation was, hey, I knew Grindelwald was bad news and, like, he needed to be stopped, but at the same time, he was a person in my life that at one point in time I cared deeply about and had fond memories of. And it made it difficult for me to bring myself to a point where I felt like I could move against him. And I regret that deeply, even though eventually doing so was still a very painful thing for me. That's like interesting human drama, and now there's some blood magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now the blood magic. Okay, so what is it?
It's, well, like not all the things, but a lot of things in this universe, you're just allowed to say it exists, and it's like, oh, because of the blood magic, I can't do thing because of thing. I feel like literally every movie we just like learn about. Remember how teleporting was like really hard, and then teleporting was like not a problem at all? It feels like this.
But like,
It's like, okay, we got port keys. Don't worry about it.
This specific blood magic that they did, they turn their blood into this little pendant thingy that they can carry around.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was like, but it could just be, if you dropped it, it would break.
I mean, apparently not. I think it's like magically strong or whatever.
So it is unbreakable.
Well, yes and no.
I just don't understand, like, the whole thing with these curses and magic and stuff with J.K. Rowling specifically. She loves to make things physical. Like, it can't just be a curse. It has to be a curse with like a little thing attached to it. But they'd never really get into what the physicality of them is in a way that always just baffles me. But anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on that. Let's talk about Aberforth.
Aberforth.
He's a Dumbledore.
He is a Dumbledore.
Yeah, he's his brother. We found out about him in the 6th book, I think.
Yeah, he was in one of them. He was the bartender, and then that was it. And he was Kieran Hines, I think, played him. Steppenwolf's own, pretty sure. What's his deal?
Well, I mean, basically nothing in this movie.
I was gonna say, if like, I guess Harry Potter lore-wise, we know that like Aberforth and Albus have like a tenuous relationship because Albus was like the cool kid who abandoned the family and let their sister die or whatever. So like,
yeah.
the brother kind of like hates his ass. But in this movie, yeah, fucking jack shit.
Well, there is that super mysterious plot line where both Credence and Aberforth are receiving messages in their mirrors, and like, oh, who could be sending them? And they're talking to each other, which is treated as some kind of revelation, even though they're the only two people seen getting mirror messages.
Right?
So obviously,
Yeah.
we would think that they were talking to each other.
So, the mirrors, that was a thing from the old ones, right? Or something?
Yeah,
I
he
think so,
talks
yeah.
to Harry that way in one of the books.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, they have like a shard of mirror at one point that's used to like get out of a dungeon. Remember that? Is that in these?
Like, maybe, I don't know, man. These movies are all, this is last. Sure, yes.
Yeah,
I think
sounds like
that's right,
something they did.
Nando.
Okay. So the guys come and work with Newt, or with Dumbledore, but then what happens? And this, honestly, like, it's so crazy how much stuff happens 10 minutes into the movie, and then how much nothing happens for a while. But
Yeah,
It's true.
the other big thing in the beginning is what?
I guess it's the recruiting of our other main character of the series, Mr. Jacob Kowalski.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think something happens before that.
Oh, what happens before that?
All the shit with the horse thingy.
Oh, yeah, this is actually first, I think. This is before the Dumbledore thing, I think.
It's so weird that, how the movie is structured this way.
So, here's a fun thing. So, this is an actual, like, mythological creature of Chinese myth.
Oh.
Its name is spelled Qilin. Now, I don't know how much you guys know about the pronunciation of Chinese. And
Very
obviously,
little.
Those aren't that's not Chinese script, that's Latin alphabet. But still, give me your best guess on how you would pronounce that name.
Can you spell it again?
Qilin.
I mean, I
I'd say
kind of want to.
Keelan.
I want to do what
It's
the
like
movie
Keelan.
does. The movie calls it like chitlin, right? So that.
I would say Keelan.
The movie calls it chillin', like you're chilling with your bros.
Right.
Right,
yeah.
right.
No, you pronounce it chilin.
Okay.
Oh, that makes more sense. Unfortunately, no Chinese people are allowed in these movies, I guess. So where would
Yeah,
you
right.
Who would even tell them
Nando,
that?
I think you'll find that one of the candidates for Wizard King that we see for some total of 5 seconds is
yeah.
Asian.
I forgot about that. Yeah. If only. Yeah. We need
Wizard
we need
King.
Cho Chang's great grandmother in these now. Tell us how to pronounce these things.
Yeah, but so that's just really funny knowing that it's a chilin and everyone just says chillin'
Yeah.
the whole time. It's so stupid.
So this
Anyway,
chillin, it's a magic. Well, what is it in mythology, Dink? Do you?
Yeah, is it what the movie says it is?
I mean, obviously it doesn't pick Wizard Kings because there are no Wizard Kings. It
That's
is
what you
said.
think.
It is said that there's a one born when in the imminent birth or death of a sage or illustrious ruler.
Oh,
That is part of the myth. They're kind of like horse dragons, sort of. So physically, it's not a bad depiction overall.
interesting. So this is the Fantastic Beast of the movie. The chillin.
Well, there's a couple.
That's true.
Well,
There-
it's the new one.
and it's the important one, the plot relevant one.
Yeah, it's the heroic struggle to fit the Fantastic Beast narrative into these movies is just, it gets worse and worse.
This one's pretty good. I wish they kept going with these, and then we had, more examples, because this one was very. So the idea is that the chillin can sense goodness or something, and they acquiesce to people with pure heart. They're little Thor's hammers.
Yeah, they if you are pure of heart, they bow to you.
Yeah. So Newt is giving birth to one. Not giving birth, but he is at the birth of one. And who do our wandering eyes should appear? With
Why,
a
it's
chair and a
Creedence
karaoke
Clearwater
microphone
Revival.
in their hand.
And Vinda, I think,
That's true, yeah.
played by Poppy Corby-Tooch. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Oh, there it is.
So they kill the chillin, And then
Yes.
Steel Chillin' 1.
Steel Chillin' Baby.
Chillin' Baby 1, yeah.
Chillin'.
But then, I'm sorry, in the movie it's pronounced Chillin'. They steal the baby
Chill with my homies. Yeah.
and then leave Newt for dead.
Yeah.
But do they think they killed him?
I don't know if they care.
Well, but like what I don't understand with some of these guys is they shoot each other, right? Like with their wands, like what a gun would do. But none of them use the killing curse because it's illegal. But they're bad, so why not use it? I've never understood what the killing curse's problem is in these movies and why it's not a bigger part of the wizard strategy if you're bad.
I agree. I'd assume that, like, you would just have them do it, but then, like, the other wizards are, I have a counter charm. Just, like, make up some bullshit why, like, the other wizards can block it or whatever. Because, yeah,
which is how it works in Harry Potter. The Voldemort people are trying to kill you in Harry Potter. It's just, there's defenses.
Or just, like, make it really hard to do. Like, something where you couldn't sneak attack with it. It requires, like, charging up like it's the fucking Donkey Kong punch thing.
Oh, here's a nitpick in that vein. What happened to having to say what the spells are to do them? I distinctly remember in the first movie, it's Leviosa, not Leviosa. But here you just, like, flick your wrist and make it spell. No problem.
We decided that sounded stupid, so we don't do it anymore.
Well,
You can like equip 4 spells to your wand with the directional pad, and those you don't have to speak. The other ones you do have to speak.
Well, but if you hold down Y, you can get like 3 more.
Yeah, that's true. You can get a wheel. They're going to add a wheel in the next update, so it'll probably make the game better. I feel like it's kind of like what Doctor Strange did, but at least with Doctor Strange, they did go out of their way to do the finger stuff. So, like, he doesn't say all his spells, but at least he's supposed to be doing different stuff with his fingers. So that's why he has different spells. But yeah, with these guys, it really, I mean, the problem with these movies and the Harry Potter universe in general is the wands are guns now. So it's like, why would you want more than one spell? You want the bang spell. Sometimes you use another spell, but it's mostly just the one that's gun. Very few spells in general in this wizard movie.
Yeah, you want the hurt spell. This is a spell when it hits you, it hurts.
Yeah.
And that's the only spell anyone uses.
Honestly,
I want the spell where I could put someone into a wall. Give me that fucking spell.
Oh, that was a good spell. This is like a frying pan over the head, but a spell. This is why Jacob could have killed all these wizards if he wanted to, because this happens to a bunch of people. They all get this bonk spell, and they all go like, woo, but then they're fine. And it's so stupid. It always bugged me. So Newt Scamander left to die, but then he is saved by his wonderful beasts. That was
OP, in my opinion. He should be using some of those guys to attack. He's got to have a dinosaur in there or something. This little briefcase with all his guys. You know, got like a dinosaur or something crazy you could pull out. Just be like, look at this, and just like totally mess up people.
Oh yeah,
come on, Newt.
I mean, we've seen he has that rhino from the first movie.
Yeah, pull that guy out.
That guy's big. He has a cat too. He has the big giant cat from the last movie. That was last movie's Fantastic Beast.
And where to find it.
And where the Secret of Dumbledore or
his suitcase.
Crime of
it's always
Grindelwald.
defined in his suitcase.
So yeah, that part's dumb. This is where we get Jacob's intro.
Yes, after he comes back and there's a second Chillin and is like, a second one, and then we do he meets up with Dumbledore scene, and then it's Jacob.
Oh, also I lied. There is one more scene. Grindelwald has to kill the Chillin because he has given Chillin one, and then
you mean Grindelwald?
Grindelwald, sure. Yeah, what do we think of Mads Mikkelsen in this?
Honestly, pretty good.
It's fine.
He's different than Johnny Depp's one.
You don't say.
Like, it's a different take on this character that I don't know if I like better or worse, because at least Johnny Depp's one was so weird it was kind of interesting to watch. This one is just more competent. And it
like an actual villain,
like a less campy, I guess, take on the character. And there was something kind of entertaining in that second movie about just watching Johnny Depp overact. I don't know if it makes it better or worse, but it is just. Well, then
you should go yell at Johnny Depp for suing a newspaper for calling him a wife beater, because if he'd never done that, then we never would have found out about all that wife beating he did.
Oh wow, we didn't even talk about that. That's crazy that this is this week, by the way, right? You guys, I've seen this a little bit on Twitter. Apparently, he's countersuing her for defamation this week.
Really?
Yeah, do you think he planned it like that?
It's impossible. There's no way.
Right?
There's no way.
They don't let you, I bet. But he's just like... Because I imagine a big part of your defamation suit, I mean, even though this was, like, it seems like he did get paid for this, it's like, well, whatever she said, regardless of, like, the validity of it, but just, like, the gist of it is, like, I'm not getting paid for this Fantastic Beasts 4 and 5, which is part of the deal. So, what a crazy week for it to happen, and then the movie comes out, and it's like, there wasn't a 4 and 5, sweetie. You're not getting paid for this movie regardless. Wild. Like, God, the publicity for this movie coming out of, like, the Johnny Depp and Ezra Miller camp is insane.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
They couldn't have hoped for a better opening weekend.
Yeah. But okay, yeah. Mads Mikkelsen's okay. He kills the chillin'. And this is, I don't understand why. This is, like, treated as Queenie's first, like, oh, man, this fascist might not be everything he's cracked up to be.
Is it? I don't know where Queenie's at the start of this movie, versus some other points,
it
feel like it's kind of ambiguous.
Like Queenie's entire journey of I don't want to be a fascist anymore happened off screen.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
at
she's
the end
a real animal person. She's just like, it's like PETA, a single issue voter. Either you kill the things and then you're not on my side.
But, like, at the end of the second movie, she's able to walk through the fire that is magically enchanted so that you can only walk through the fire if you truly, deep down in your heart, believe in Grindelwald, right?
Yep.
And then at the start of this movie, she's like, I don't want to be with this Grindelwald anymore, but if I leave, they'll kill me. So, like, what happened?
I don't know. It's insane.
That sure would be an interesting character journey to see depicted on screen. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Sure would.
But that's the problem is Joe can't fathom a version of that. She doesn't understand what it would take for a character to have, like, an emotional epiphany and stuff like that. So it just has to already be done. And, she's horrible in this movie. I hated the character. I wish that a couple characters died in the last one or, like, got written out of it and stuff, and this one felt like the most tacked on of the main characters. Obviously, there's way more tacked on minor characters. But, like, much of this movie is her.
There's only two things that get you written out of this movie, Nando. And that's being pregnant or saying J.K. Rowling might be bad.
So I was thinking about that, but then there's also, what's her name? Zoe Kravitz managed to die in the last one of these, which is so good for her. Congratulations, Zoe Kravitz. But yeah, it's so weird. So weird how few women are in these movies now that I think about it.
Is it weird?
Well, like,
or does J.K. Rowling hate women?
Well, I mean, she loves them so much. That's her whole. Her Twitter. She's the biggest fan.
Well, she's the biggest fan of specific women.
Yeah, specific women.
A specific subset of women.
But even then, it's like in the second movie, there were, it was pretty balanced 50-50. But then one of them died. One of them isn't in the movies anymore. One of them got pregnant. Not like the actor died, but like that character died. So we're left with Queenie, Poppy Cordy-Tuchas Vinda, and then another character who we'll get to, who apparently was in the last one. I don't remember her.
Wait, really? She was?
I think I read something that she was, yeah.
Are you sure?
No, not at all. Not even kind of. But maybe. And I guess that's why we got, what's her name, elevated to main player. The assistant that is in love with him or not, maybe. Who knows?
Bunty.
But yeah, I
love her.
I forget. So I'm talking about Lally. That's what we're talking about. Let me see. Try to find Jessica Williams.
Yeah. And you say the assistant is promoted to main, but she's really only in like 3 scenes?
Yeah, that's true. It's a very good point. Yeah, she was in the last one.
Are you serious? What? When?
I don't know. But she totally was.
I have no memory of this whatsoever.
Yeah, it's probably terrible. Or like it was probably just like, I don't know, in the middle of some crazy exposition dump or something. And who can even keep track of all the characters at this point? But
who
yeah,
can even keep track of all characters?
Anyway, Queenie's awful. Speaking of Jacob, Jacob's awful. Jacob's in this movie. Hooray. Everyone's favorite guy.
I don't think Jacob is awful, but there's literally no reason for him to be here, and nobody ever gives one.
Right?
It really should have been Frying Pan. Like, he's not just awful. I guess he's a little awful, but he also seems to make things worse a lot of the time.
The only thing he does in the movie is make things worse. The one thing he does is bad.
But, he kind of knows Newt, so he's an integral player of this team.
Well, it's not even like Newt is going, well, Jacob's my best friend, and so I can't do this without him. He has to be here. It's like Dumbledore has sent people to try to convince him to join this team, like, over and over again, apparently.
Yeah.
Because Dumbledore is convinced that Jacob is the key, which again hints at maybe some kind of final conclusion where the presence of this stinkin' no-mage helps them overcome Grindelwald because of his hubristic belief that a stinkin' no-mage could never do anything. That, again, what a thematically satisfying way to end the movie that would be.
Or, I got another pitch for you, satisfying way to end the movie for Jacob. We'll get to it, but there's another way we could go with that one.
Right, but anyway, then we have the first of this movie's many unbelievably stupid plans.
Let's hear it.
Well, the way that Lally convinces Jacob to come with her to join.
Oh yeah, I don't even understand what happened in that scene. I couldn't. Please explain it.
So basically, Lally is sitting at the bench across from. Well, okay. First of all, Jacob has a hallucination of Queenie, I guess.
So
he misses her.
I don't know. It is a hallucination, but also with Mind Palaces now in play, I could be convinced it's their Mind Palace.
But they don't have a blood pact or whatever.
Yeah, and she's not acting the way she does when she sees him later.
I guess that's true.
I think it's just a hallucination, but the character is having like full-on visual and auditory hallucinations you think would be more important in the movie.
Yeah, I figure if that happened in real, like, if this is such a thing in magical world that, like, very frequently characters will be in hallucinations or astral projections or things like that, or mind palaces, it has to be really confusing to tell real life from fiction. Like, it's like the guy in fucking Heavy Rain who used too much glasses and then the tanks are there in real life. Like, you just never know if anyone's actually in a room with you. It would be chaos.
The movie just treats like, if you miss someone, sometimes you have a complete full hallucination of their presence, and not that being a sign of like serious mental illness.
So he sees her in his shop, but then what?
But then that doesn't matter at all. Lally is sitting across the street from his bakery on a bench, and some street toughs come up to her and are like, "Hey, we're trying to mess with you." So Jacob comes out with his frying pan and says, like, "Stop messing with the poor lady. It's the 30s and she's black and I'm a white man, so I probably am racist, but don't worry about it."
No, he's the one not racist guy.
He's a good person, you know?
Super not racist.
Well, he's probably Jewish, so, you know, maybe there's some solidarity there. Anyway, then they like go like, "We're gonna fight you," but then Lally does a magic spell and it's like, "I'm a witch, and also these guys are my friends. This whole thing was a setup."
Why?
It wasn't, right? Like,
why?
It can't have been.
But then they just the street toughs just leave and they're talking to her like, "Yeah, we're gonna go play some fucking magic chess or magic tiddlywinks later." Am I right?
But then, so what she was doing with them outside was like the whole routine, but it wasn't a routine, or was it?
What was that? Yeah, where it's like, "Hey, hot stuff, how you doing?" It's like, "Yo, Fred, we work together. Could you not do this, please?"
It's.
I guess
weird.
actually this does make a little bit more sense to me now, because then she's like, "Oh, you got to put your arms up more." It kind of felt like in that moment when I was watching it, I just assumed she was doing a magic spell or some shit, and like that was why the guys were acting that way. But no, I guess it was part of a plan. But what did the plan even accomplish that walking into the bakery wouldn't?
It proved that Jacob is brave.
Yep.
Then why was she getting him if he wasn't?
Well, that's how she convinces him to come. She's like, "See, you are brave. Now come with me on this magical quest to fight Wizard Hitler, even though you don't have any powers at all."
Yeah, also, you know what else proved he was brave? That other time he fought Wizard Hitler. They met. He's very brave. I don't know what else you need from him besides 3 guys. Like, I don't know. Every character in this movie somehow feels like they don't belong in this movie. Like, it's funny, because usually with these, you can say, well, he doesn't really need to be in here. Like I don't know. Who's a good example of this?
See, Nando, here's something we have. So, but this moment is here to prove to us that Jacob is pure of heart. Something that could come up at the end of the movie, perhaps in some kind of direct contradiction of the bigoted ideas that our villains hold. Maybe.
Nah.
Yeah, that's stupid, Diggins. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that would be dumb.
See, this is
Wizards
like, we're gonna
battle.
get there at the end, but I'm gonna keep pointing out every single time the movie sets up a reason to do a thing at the end that it does not do, and it drives me crazy. Why did you set it up so hard if you weren't gonna do it?
I mean, to piss you off, it seems like.
Yeah, I guess.
You've said mean things about Job before. Maybe this is her revenge.
Or bad writing. I feel like bad writing is like the Occam's razor of all this.
Nah, revenge.
Oh, okay.
This is definitely more revenge. That seems like pettiness that Job would, you know.
That's true.
Fuck,
She
just
would
like
do
Chris
for,
Diggins
just
said
to
so
bother.
much fucking shit about me. I'm gonna fucking get at that guy.
I have said a lot of stuff about Joanne. It's true.
And so this revenge is just what happens, you know. You pay the price.
Well, look at she's willing to ruin her own movie to get back at me. I mean, I gotta respect it.
Respect the game. Yeah, respect the game. Yeah.
Game recognizes game. Classic DJ, mostly nitpicking phrase.
Oh, game recognized game. Doy.
So yeah, speaking of that, let's talk about this character. So this character, according to IMDb, was in the last movie. Probably as like a background agent or something. But
you know what? I'm not sure I even believe it still.
Well, yeah, the movie took place in France mostly. So
and she's an American, even though she speaks with some kind of weird accent.
I don't know what the fuck she was doing in this. I couldn't. I like it was. This character annoyed me so much for that reason specifically. I just spent the whole movie trying to figure out like what that was.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, man.
It was like a cartoon character or something. Like, so weird. But yeah, Jessica Williams is in this as, I don't know. I would say like the new, like she kind of slid into the role that, what's her name was in the old
Goldstein.
ones? Yeah, kind of Tina, kind of Zoe Kravitz's one. She's both. Both of the women that are in this, she's like the new one. Because she's another magical cop whose, you know, job is to escort characters that aren't the main character around.
Well, she's not a cop, though. She's a professor.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Forgot about that. Also, she's a professor at Ilvermorny, right? That's what's called? Or whatever?
Ilvermorny, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Who's in charge of Ilvermorny?
I don't
Do they
know
have
that
their
we know
own
that.
Dumbledore?
I guess.
Where's that guy?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, man.
Like, it felt weird because every time that the professor thing came up, I was like, oh, that's how she knows Dumbledore. She works for him. And I'm like, wait, that's not the professor, though. She has her own Dumbledore somewhere, and maybe he's just a doofus, which would make sense.
Dumbledore's
America.
not the headmaster of Hogwarts at this point, is he?
No, I don't think so.
Who is?
Oh, some guy.
Some
Yeah,
dude.
there's so much. This movie has the worst world building ever. Like,
Yeah, it's awful.
it's so bad. All these questions, and it's like, yeah. At least with the Harry Potter ones, yeah, we knew who was in charge. We knew who was over them when it became important. But with this, it's just like, well, he was in the Harry Potters, so he's the main character we're going to deal with in these movies. But we'll never learn anything else about the world around him. He just lives in a little bubble with another character who I figured after the last one of these couldn't be in this again because the internet said she wasn't alive. But they're going with it. They're really plowing ahead with that cameo. I hate it. Yeah, so Jessica Williams plays, what's this character's name? Lenny or something like that?
Lolly? We still talking about Lolly?
That sounds right. And yeah, her whole thing is that she speaks in like an old-timey newsy accent, but also with a tinge of British sometimes. It's really strange.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of there to like walk around. She like,
Well, like everyone in this movie, she's here to be in a scene and say something and have maybe one personality trait, and then
Yeah.
we move on to another scene.
we almost have our full crew of guys, of heroes, but there's, well, I guess, and we've already met Theseus Commander, who
should be by the end of this film series the only person who has not been recast, I think.
Yeah, it's true.
I know nothing about this Callum Turner, so.
Well, I don't know.
see.
He might be a terrible person. I just mean it would be a really funny joke if you ship up Theseus to everyone in the movie except Theseus.
Oh, yeah, that would be brilliant. All right, we gotta start digging up dirt on these other ones. What's Eddie Redmayne been up to? Dan Fogler, what's his deal? I was gonna say there's somebody else in here. Oh yeah, there they are. We got a character that shows up in the getting everybody together bit named Yusuf Kama. You guys remember him from the last one of these, kind of?
Hell no. Hell no.
What was his deal?
He was a member of one of the oldest wizarding families ever, because Theseus is his dumb little, everyone gets a little character trait, and that's his.
I mean, thank God. They all needed, without that, he just would have been like, I was in the other one of these. I'm pretty sure I was related to Zoe Kravitz, kind of, or that was part of it.
Well, sort of. No, it was a whole thing.
It appeared, but that was why I was part of the movie at that moment. And now she's dead, but hey, my ride isn't here yet, so I'm going to be in this movie for a little bit.
My man should have turned to the camera and was like, have you all heard of the Lestranges?
Yeah.
Just
Dun,
like,
dun, dun.
everyone gets that didn't get a gasp from your audience, Diggins, when that fucking happened.
Well, we already knew the Lestranges, didn't we?
Yeah, but I don't know, like that he was involved, or just saying the name and it gets everyone all hot and bothered.
I don't blame an audience for going like, ooh, a Lestrange, the first time that's come up in one of these, because it's easy to forget that was the whole plot of the last one.
That's true.
They're all bad. These movies are really bad. But yeah, so this ragtag group of characters, this Avengers they assemble in this third movie is insane. Like, because none of them
wouldn't
matter.
like their chances.
Well, I mean, I don't like their chances either. They gotta call other friends. They don't have a single friend that knows magic. Like, it's not even that they're like, oh, me and Kama have spent so much time together, we're good friends now. Like, it is just like, you know magic, and I know your first and last name. You are on the super wizard team to kill Wizard Hitler. Like, why isn't McGonagall part of this team?
She gotta teach.
So does Dumbledore, I would assume.
No, she could just do it for him.
Like, cancel wizard school for a whole week. How long does
Yeah,
this even
right.
take? It's like a day?
It's like, hey man, Wizard Hitler's on the prowl. We gotta.
Like, it's so weird because the Harry
So this
Potter
whole-
movies had to walk this weird tightrope where, like, every single one was a year long. So sometimes time would pass. It would be like, I guess it's Christmas now. And then it's like, oh, I guess these two have been hanging out for a while. But with these, I think this movie takes place over the course of 2 days.
Yes, we
like,
actually
I'll
get a
be
specific timeline.
Oh.
Because when
yeah.
the
The vote
assistant,
or whatever.
the assistant goes and says, I need this stuff made in 2 days, please.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Oh, I have such a big nitpick
we'll-
about that,
we'll
but
get
it's
to
at
it.
the
Oh,
end of the movie. So,
I'm sure
yeah.
you and I have the same nitpick.
But
good.
But the idea that it's like such a big problem, and the best we can do is these guys. It's almost like I'm mad at Dumbledore for putting in such a poor effort to save all of the world.
You should have done better.
Yeah, I should have had more friends. Should have had, like, I don't know. Just
Well, like, how deep is the bench? Because they're going to Kowalski, so,
like
limited options, I assume.
that's it though. Like, where is the bench? Why does this character not have friends? Why can't Minerva McGonagall also take a day off of work?
Well, because these are, as far as I can tell based on the movie, literally the only people in the entire wizarding world who thinks it would be an unmitigated catastrophe if wizard fascism took over.
yeah, it's
Everyone
weird.
else is some level of excited for it to, well, it's not what I want, but that's the process.
Yeah, it does seem like that is where everybody else falls. Even the magical cops. The what are they
Obviously,
called?
I mean, listen, Nando, of course the cops think it would be good if wizard fascism took over.
Well, that is true. However, we do have there is a character that we haven't really talked about yet. I remember. It's Tina Goldstein. Mm-hmm. The main character of the first one, second lead of the first one of these, and then kind of third lead of the second one because Jude Law takes over. But
remember when she disappeared into that statue in that one trailer? And I was like, oh.
But yeah, she seems like she would be really helpful in this pursuit
She's
of
busy.
wizard.
But she's in America.
Damn it.
She's busy.
She's busy, you're saying? Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah.
Don't want to disturb her. What is she busy with? Like,
Just wizard police stuff.
Yeah, she's in America.
tickets? Like, I don't...
She's got so much paperwork, Nando, you have no idea.
Well, yeah, it's like when the wizarding community, because how much time passes between this and the last movie? Like a day?
A few years, I think, actually.
So why haven't they gotten Grindelwald yet?
He's so elusive.
Yeah, he's so good
Well,
at hiding.
he keeps changing faces. He was Johnny Depp, now he's Mads Mikkelsen. They can't keep track.
But so for those years, are the Aurors, led by Tina, pursuing Grindelwald?
Well, he's not in
He
America
might not be in
anymore.
America.
Right,
Yeah,
but
it's
he
like based on
escaped-
location.
He escaped to Europe in the second movie. So
Yeah, but she went to Europe to get him too. Like, does
Yeah, but shut
anybody give
up.
a shit about him?
Well, as we'll find out later, Nando, the answer is apparently no. But
So
also
weird.
maybe I got so many fucking things to say about what's going on with that scene.
All right, you guys. Grindelwald. Let's talk about Grindelwald.
Oh, I love me some Grindel Migzelson.
The people's champ. Somehow.
Is he the best one? Is he the best Grindelwald of the three?
I mean, I think Colin Farrell would do a better Grindelwald if given the chance. Just
Fair.
based off
That's
of penguining alone, I'd like to see his takes. I think he would be in the middle between, like, the very campy Johnny Depp and the kind of, naturalistic Mads Mikkelsen. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree with that assessment. I prefer Colin Farrell.
I like Mads Mikkelsen in this. I feel like he lends an aura of menace, but also, like, when he is being charming, you can be like, I could have a conversation with this guy and come away not thinking he's outrageously evil.
That's true. He is good in this.
So like Hitler?
That's right.
You know how Neville Chamberlain was like, guy's cool. No problems here.
I'm not going to respond to that one.
All right, cool.
I bet
Cool,
Neville
cool. Did I cross
Longbottom
the
would
line?
like this guy. A lot of Nevilles in the universe. What's
Oh, that's who we need to introduce. We need to introduce a Longbottom into the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm
mean-
sure they want to.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll show up in the fourth one of these will certainly get made.
How is, like, Snape not in here yet?
Well,
I
it
don't
would
care if
have
he's
to
like a
be like
baby
Snape's
or whatever.
grandfather or Snape's like
Yeah.
dad. But I mean, how is that guy not in there yet? I don't know. Because might as well. Like, it would make more sense than fucking, the assistant who doesn't do anything. And I mean, I guess it wouldn't make any sense because it's like, wait, you knew Dumbledore? But I don't know. These movies don't work very well when you think about them.
Like, even a little.
Nope.
Yeah, none of that holds up. But yeah, what's Grindelwald's deal in this? What's his plan? What's he? I don't know.
Well,
Well,
we don't
yeah, let's
learn
go with
his
his
actual
plan.
plan for a long time. He's just kind of out there being evil for half the movie.
Yeah, there
He
was.
seems to have the current Wizard Lord President, which, by the way, this is the
Wizard
first
King.
time ever hearing of a Wizard President. Like, this is, like,
So-
every Ministry of Magic was by country, I thought.
So I looked this up. There is, in the books, very briefly, a mention of a supreme mugwump of the International Wizards Council or whatever.
Okay.
As being a position, but nobody ever, like, says what it is or why it's important or anything. It's just kind of an offhand reference. And now the supreme mugwump is Wizard King.
Yeah, it seems pretty
Okay.
important. Seems like kind of thing that would come up. Although maybe
Well-
after this you get rid of it.
Yeah, right. Well, it would seem that Grindelwald has the current Wizard King, like, in his pocket, I
Well,
guess?
we don't learn that until much later. But yeah,
I don't know.
basically,
it seems apparent very early. He's
I
very
mean-
pro Grindelwald the whole time.
he's suspicious early, but we don't know that he's fully like a wizard fascist until later. Because like even Dumbledore said, so we meet him because Dumbledore sends Newt as part of. Okay, hold on. First, they meet up in a train and talk about how they're the ones who are going to stop wizard fascism. But in order to do so, because Grindelwald can read the future right now, they need to be unpredictable. Thus, conveniently freeing the movie from having to make any sense or explain anything that happens or why.
Yep. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Yeah, and the whole future reading, not that big of a deal.
Not really. It doesn't really help him that much at any point.
Nah. Remember how he used to have like a magic bong and stuff and like skull thing? That was pretty cool. I mean, it was stupid, but it was like, where's more
Bring
of
back
that?
the bong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so first Dumbledore sends him to tell the Wizard King, be like, hey man, you should do the right thing. But he does the wrong thing instead and says there's no evidence that Grindelwald did any big murders, so that's it. He's a free man. Now, you might say, hey, didn't he break out of prison or, like, break out of police custody last film? Like, regardless of the underlying charges, isn't doing that illegal? And he should be in jail for that, at minimum? And the answer is shut up.
Yeah, I mean, like, when what's his name? Flumby, or whatever his name is. Jacob.
But
Flumby.
Oh.
Yeah. When Jacob yells at him about that, he's like, he killed people. I saw him. He killed people. I was like, yeah, he didn't just kill people. He, like, created a big giant dragon, if I remember correctly, that, like, almost destroyed all of France. So people would have, it would have been an event. What do people think that was? Or are people in the streets just like, well, you know, can't really do anything about it, so might as well just let Grindelwald do whatever he wants.
So that seems to be the implication that, like, between, that basically, so we eventually find out that Vogel, the current Wizard King, is a fascist, is a wizard fascist who's helping Grindelwald. And either he has so captured the wizard government, or the wizard government is so apathetic that when he says, like, we're not going to prosecute Grindelwald, everyone just kind of collectively shrugs their shoulders and goes about their business. Which leads me to question, why does Grindelwald need to be elected Wizard King anyway? The guy who's currently Wizard King is already his puppet, and nobody seems to really resist him doing wizard fascist things through his Wizard King puppet. So, like, what exactly is being elected going to give him that he doesn't already have?
Yeah, it's nuts that, like, last movie, his plan is like, oh, I'm going to get together a cult and, like, kill a lot of people to build my army and be all fascist. And this time the plan is be elected Wizard King to establish myself, you know, as a, I don't know, it's so weird. It's like, it's so disjointed. It's like, I will destroy them with bureaucracy.
So, Nando, you mentioned, I think, on a podcast, a video by Sean, the YouTuber, about how Harry Potter is a series that's, like, perfectly neoliberal because it has no affirmative vision for changing things. It's just like, let's stop people from making things worse and then maintain the status quo forever. And it just feels like there's just this bedrock assumption that everybody is like that, because his plan is to be elected Wizard King, and then he can say, like, we're at war with the Muggles, all the people, you gotta go kill Muggles now, and everyone will be like, well, I guess that's what we're doing, he is the Wizard King. you know?
I mean, it's weird, because it seems like his plan late game, but, it's the same plan, but the other part of it is, like, use this weird deer election system to trick people into thinking I'm actually a pretty good guy. But, like, assuming this was a, you know, in a real world, like, fascism, I mean, maybe this would work, but I don't think that would be convincing for people that are like, well, I actually don't want wizard fascism. Like, it's not effective propaganda because it's, I don't know, it feels like a very arbitrary thing that he's after.
It totally misunderstands what fascist propaganda is. It's not that your average person watches the magical horse dragon, the Qilin, kneel before Grindelwald, and the average person goes, well, the Qilin's never wrong, so I guess Grindelwald is a pure-hearted guy who rules and should be our Wizard King.
Right.
The point of propaganda like that is you do that, and you're like, well, he definitely fucking fixed that, but, I mean, what am I going to do about it? I'm just one person, you know? It's to reinforce this image of, like, you are powerless before the state. You are, you know, it's projecting an aura of strength and putting a veneer of legitimacy over yourself. Not because the average person necessarily believes it, but because it gives them just enough plausible deniability that nobody, like, does anything before it's too late. But in this movie, it's like, no, it's like literally everybody just believes his lies, and as soon as you provide some amount of evidence that they are not true, then everyone's like, oh, then he can't be our Wizard King, now that he has told a lie. My word!
That's true, yeah. That's a good point. What do you think the wizarding community at large thinks about Grindelwald? And, like, thinks about destroying all humans and muggles, I guess, like, if wizards are count, like, just all non-magical people. Do you think they're always, like, I mean, I don't want to do it, but if I could, you know, snap my fingers, yeah, I'm get rid of all the muggles. Like, or do you think they're, like, silly little muggles? They don't even understand how cool we wizards are. Lucky for them, we don't go kill them all. Because, like... I
Well,
never
it's a good
understood
point.
that. Yeah.
It's a good point, Nando, because, like, last time Grindelwald's message was, you should be allowed to love who you want and do what you want, and god damn it, if you love a muggle, then love a muggle! Like, that was his whole pitch to Queenie. But now it's just kill all muggles?
Well, and his other part of his pitch, which I feel like has been, I mean, rightly probably left out of the movie, is the whole World War II thing. Like,
Yeah!
which it made his message very confusing, but at least it was something that wasn't just kill all humans because they're bad.
Yeah.
But it was way too sympathetic, so we probably couldn't hold. It wasn't long term. It wasn't going to sustain this franchise, but it does. It is just weird that the movie has to kind of sidestep that and give us a new reasoning and like a new motivation for all of the Grindelwalding, but it's worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's very reductive. Like, I don't know, I guess you could argue that he had some nuance to him, like, at some point.
Or
You
even,
should argue
like,
it, I know, but, like...
I don't even think, like, necessarily a nuance thing. It's just like, yeah, he's fucking lying. He's a liar. Because he's a fascist and he only cares about power. And, like, that's fine. Yeah. That's a fine thing for this character to be. But, like, we can't... So, this is my big thing about this whole movie. Mm-hmm. Which is that there is no... in reference to that video, there was no affirmative argument made for what should be done or what world should exist in opposition to Grindelwald's vision. And in fact, Grindelwald himself barely articulates a vision. He's like, I think muggles are bad and we should kill them. And like, okay, but like, why? Like, why do you think that? What does the wizarding world benefit from us doing that? We're strong and they're weak, whatever, sure. But like, what do you have to say that is appealing to the average witch or wizard that makes them want you to be their wizard king? Because even if you rigged the election, there were a lot of people who were like, Grindelwald should be wizard king.
Yeah.
But we don't have that. And then we also don't have, like, there's two other candidates who are running, and we literally never hear them speak, like, at all. Like, they never say anything about who they are or what they want or what they would do. There's even a point where we come back, and when we're at the end in Bhutan, at the election itself, we like cut back and the guy's like, those are some great speeches that outlined their visions for what the wizarding world should be. Like, what the fuck were they? Well, tell me what they were. This is the whole point of the movie.
Yeah, it's weird too, because like, it's funny because this is, it's the logical extension of the Sorting Hat. Is this like, the magic will decide who the best president is. The magic will tell us what the right thing to do is, and it does just know. And it just seems like wizards are really stupid. Like, if you... I think a muggle could conceivably go up to a wizard and be like, this is the magic coin of heads and tails. And if it goes heads, then that just means that you have to give me all of your money. And they'd be like, well, that's how shit works with us. We have to respect the magical nonsense and have no thoughts of our own. But yeah, it's like, it's weird because speaking of things that the original franchise... They did kind of the same thing with Voldemort, but it was not like the same thing, but the way the government interacted with him. But it was way more intentionally just like, they don't want to deal with this because they're not very good at their jobs. And that seemed like where this was going too. But then it wasn't. And that part was really frustrating to me.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, it seems like they're all just like either literally captive to Grindelwald, like Vogel, or they're just apathetic and like don't want to deal with it to the point where, you know, they let it get too bad until it's too late to fix. But at the end, we just let the other lady be Wizard Queen, and it's like, fine, that's fine. Everything's good now. Now that Grindelwald isn't Wizard King, all the problems are solved.
Yeah, I'm gonna get another Grindelwald in 4 more years, I have a feeling. They should let go of all the
Might
all
not
the
even be
wizarding
another
student loan
Grindelwald.
debt.
Might just be literally the same Grindelwald.
That's true. I mean, he'll go to jail this time, but for like sacred deer murder or whatever. So it's actually he's not doing so hot now.
It's also really funny because when they're explaining why this is a thing that could happen, like they're talking about the Qilin and how it bows before pure of heart, whoever's explaining it goes like, yes, many, many years ago, like a long, long time ago, that was even how we picked our Wizard King. But like, it's not how you do it now. This is not the normal process. So it'd be like if the current Prime Minister of the UK came out on election night and was like, normally we would have an election, but this election is very divided, and there are many people who feel strongly about each side. So instead of our normal election, whoever can pull the sword out of this stone gets to be prime minister. And everyone just being like, yeah, no, that works too. Yeah, no, we used to do that, so that's fine.
The ways of old, I say, the ways of old.
And then, like, the prime minister wheels out, like, a clearly plastic sword in stone and hands it to Grindelwald first. And it's like, you can try. I don't know. This is totally fair. Because that's the other thing about these animals. And the other thing about wizards and why they're so dumb. Well, we'll get to it. Because first we have to talk about... So Grindelwald's up to this, and he is, just in the beginning of the movie, just doing the shit where he, like, walks around with people and is, like, you know, popular. And he's got... You can kind of see this, not like the appeal of him, but, like, how he is working his crowds, and, like, you can see him kind of rise to power. It's very jokery.
He's, like, so charismatic and, like, yeah, wizards are the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't see any of those speeches, though. He can never articulate what he believes or, like, wants for the wizarding world that makes people like him. Never.
Never. That would be stupid. Now, instead of that, we have a cool thing where all the heroes go, like, he's a bad guy, though. And he is acquitted of his crimes. Because why?
Because there's insufficient evidence.
Yep.
Right.
Which is bullshit, but
Which is
whatever.
insane. But it is because one of them is bad, right? But, like...
Right. And then And then the next scene, they're talking about, like, the current Wizard King, who we later learn is captive to Grindelwald, is like, maybe we should, 2 days before an election, let Grindelwald run for Wizard King. Because if we don't let him run, then people will be mad. But if we do let him run and he loses, then he'll go away quietly and not be a problem anymore because he lost fair and square, and that means it's over. And see, like, this is why I don't agree with you, DJ, that it's obvious this guy was evil, because that's just a thing a Harry Potter person could believe.
Yeah, that's fair. I felt like when I heard that, it's like, oh, he's in the can for Grindelwald. Like, that's how I read it. But I do see that point that, yeah, man, sometimes people in the Harry Potter universe are fucking stupid and incompetent. So,
now, to be fair, there are people in our world who also think that sort of thing. So
I see.
And in credit to the movie thinks that's a bad argument in the end, and because he turns out to be evil. So I guess the movie recognizes that that's stupid.
Well, but
maybe
it's the problem of, like, the movie had the right thought to, like, it articulated an interesting message, which is similar to what it did in the original ones with Voldemort and the Ministry, where it is just, like, incompetence and, you know, this, like, dumb, like, oh, the norms will prevail kind of thinking. And it felt very, like, 2021, like, Wizard Merrick Garland isn't going to press charges, and isn't that a bad idea? But then we find out Wizard Merrick Garland is evil, and it's like, that's the fucking problem with these stupid movies. They have such a weird, like, I don't know, especially these, have such a very, like, what's the word? Like, I don't know, simplistic view of good and evil. Everything's got to be good or evil. And it could just be, they're dumb.
And then at the end, when we've exposed all these really serious flaws in the system and how it can become captured to malicious actors and everything, we still just, like, we go at the end, we're like, well, the good person's in charge now, so no need to change anything. Our job is done.
Yeah. Ugh, it's so dumb. Theseus goes to jail.
Oh,
right, because when they announced that they're not going to prosecute Grindelwald, he's like, this is bullshit. And then some of Grindelwald's dudes beat him up, and then he gets arrested for some reason?
Yeah.
Probably because cops are fascists, which is also true in real life.
He is a cop as well, right? He's an American cop. Or no, he's a British cop.
No, he's a British cop. But they're in Germany.
Right. What do we think of that whole bit where he's in jail?
Absolutely pointless, but at least the only sequence that's, like, kind of visually interesting, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. It felt like an excuse to shoehorn the whole Fantastic Beasts-ness of the movie that they have to do sometimes.
100%.
Like, hey, remember how the movie has beasts, or is about beasts ostensibly?
Oh, I should say, completely pointless and also makes no goddamn sense whatsoever.
No. Although Eddie Redmayne got to move his hips.
Yeah,
real cool.
This was in a lot of the trailers, too. I remember this moment.
Yes,
Yeah.
me too.
Almost like...
There'll be a Funko Pop.
Well, and to sell a different movie, like to sell the movie where it is like, ooh, we gotta use our beast magic or like beast, knowledge to beat the evil people. Now, what is this jail?
So, Dumbledore says it's like, so it was shut down a while ago, but the ministry like keeps it as like a secret prison. The German ministry, I guess, or the International Wizards Council. It's not very clear who arrested him. I guess it was the German Aurors.
I think it's the Germans, yeah. Because they go to the German office to be like, hey, what the hell?
Yeah. So that implies that the Germans have like a secret police and a secret prison system for jailing political dissidents.
Something like that.
What?
That seems like something we should maybe discuss, but we never do.
Yeah. Well, now the bad guy doesn't have it anymore. So I'm sure this new minister person will do some good reforms.
Yes. I'm
Close
sure
down
that
Guantanamo, Scorpion Island, or whatever.
I'm sure that the governance of Germany in the 30s will be perfectly responsible now that Grindelwald's out.
So okay. Here's my question about this jail. What, is it?
It's a place you send people to die.
It's a big hole in the ground with a lobster in it.
And if you get sent there, you're gonna die.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So, are prisoners just there? Like, is this like the Bane prison where you could live there for a year or 10 years or 10 minutes? Like, you may die,
you're not
but
living there for 10 years, man.
So, this is actually a question I had. It's like, what causes someone to be killed in this prison?
Right.
Because the thing that like touches off them running away because the big lobster scorpion is trying to kill them is that Theseus steps on one of the little lobsters, right?
Yep.
But
Yeah.
every other time, what happens is their little like lightning bug lantern goes out, and that makes the scorpion lobster kill them.
Yes.
So, like, is it just a random timer? Is it somehow linked to how they treat the little lobsters? Because when Theseus steps on the little lobster, his lantern goes out. But also, like, it can also just go out because at the end of the scene, we have the warden's lantern starts to go out and he's like, uh-oh.
Right.
So, like, what's the criteria here?
I don't know.
I mean, it's got to be the little lantern bug going out. It probably releases a gas, and then the gas goes out when it dies, meaning that, like, the thing knows to go kill where the gas was.
It has to be, because the alternative would be that the thing is so nocturnal that it can't look at, like, the light will ward it away. But then that's a really easy thing for a wizard to deal with, like, or just anyone to deal with. It's like, okay, well, we need to have a light source. That's fine. But
to be fair, Newt did not have his wand because he had to give it up to go into the prison.
So this was the other thing that I couldn't figure out in the moment and still don't have a great answer for. Newt is able to visit his brother.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got some kind of pass.
But what?
A little hall pass.
But it's not like a jail where it's like you get to have a meeting behind glass. He just gets to go into the jail also.
Yes.
Well, the warden seems to think that he's going to get killed.
Right.
Yeah, it's like there's no one's making it back.
So that's not how jails work.
Well, but this is like secret
it's
jail
not a
for
jail.
political dissidents, you know?
Yeah.
This is a black site.
This
This
Guantanamo.
is this is if you went to visit a family member in Guantanamo Bay.
I guess it's more of this idea that, like, and we get this in the first movie too, and probably in the second, I can't remember, but definitely the first one, there's that room of, like, liquid metal that, like, pretends to be nice and then eats you or something, and you die. Remember that?
Oh God, maybe.
Yeah, when they like arrest Newt and Tina and are like, well, time to execute you immediately.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So it's another one of those where it's like the wizards are like, okay, so because, like, just kill them, just use the fucking curse on them. Why all this trouble? It's not like it's an actual jail and he's being tortured or something. He's just going to be killed later.
Yeah, there's no rules.
Is it just the wizard prison industrial complex where you just got to keep these things open, keep these lobsters eating people? But
Geneva
like,
Convention.
yeah, because it's just so convoluted to to a point where, and it's Voldemort had a similar problem where it's just like, you're really bad at this, dude. Like, it should be easier to do what you're trying to do with your power and information, considering who you're dealing with. And, like, the wizard government, I guess I can kind of see how Grindelwald could take over, because they do shit like this. Like, it's so stupid. And also, it serves no purpose. Like we said, functionally in the movie, it's just to keep these two out of the plot for a little bit, I guess. Probably, I don't know.
Well, nothing the main characters have done at any point in the movie so far has mattered at all.
That's true.
Well, because nothing matters until the climax. Because there's no, like, chase. Like, there's the infiltration that the guy does, right? And then everyone's just kind of running around. It's barely a fetch quest. And then we all bump into each other at Hogwarts, and then it's like, we got to go to the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. It's just a whole lot of nothing in the middle.
I mean,
there's two things, I guess 3 things maybe total, anyone does in this entire movie that actually matters. As far as the heroes doing things, that is.
And one of them's about to happen.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you want to describe that?
Well, hold on. I'm not sure which one of the two you mean. So, the first one that happens is that his assistant goes to some German bag shop, and is like, hey, can you make me 6 copies of this suitcase, please? Don't open it. You don't have to do the inside. It's just the outside. And have those done in 2 days? Great. Thank you. Also, I'm doing this entire transaction in English, just so you know.
Now, was that a German shop or a magical German shop?
Oh, I feel like if she doesn't want him to open it, it has to be a Muggle one, right?
But, like, it seems like that what she's asking him to do has to be done with the spell, right? People can't just do that.
Oh yeah, how could he make a suitcase that can do that?
Or no, I just mean like make a duplicate suit. Like just make me another one of these. You got 2 days. That's not a thing people ask people to do.
But also, it's magic. How does he make a magic one?
Well, forget about the magic one, because, well,
they might do that themselves.
That's true. Okay. They could do the magical parts of it. But this idea that it's like, either she goes to a magic person and it doesn't make sense, or she goes to a non-magic person and it doesn't make sense. But it's different. I have different questions about it.
You know, it's part of the awesome plan that, Dumbledore has to, what do they say? It's either no plan or have multiple plans. This is part of the multiple plans.
Oh my God.
Grindelwald.
Yeah, so...
but by the way, real quick nitpick here. In the first movie, Newt makes a point to turn the Muggle switch on for his suitcase so he could, get through customs. Just do that here. The suitcase has a goddamn Muggle switch.
No, shut up.
Okay. Just wanted to point that out.
Well, but then,
I'm mostly nitpicking.
But if the guy is duplicating the suitcase, wouldn't he make a Muggle switch? Go, what the fuck is this? And then turn it, and then it turns into Animal Zoo?
Well, no, but Nando, he doesn't get to keep it or examine it. He has to look at it, touch it for a few seconds, and then make 6 exact replicas based on that alone.
Also, keep that number in mind. 6.
Yes.
But, okay, so what is stopping... I just don't understand why in this scene they don't just buy 6 of... let's get 6... Let's go to a store that sold it.
Yeah, I feel like it would be much easier to, if she was scouring all the different shops in Berlin, looking for suitcases that look more or less like this one,
right?
It's like an nondescript brown suitcase. It's not like it's super unique.
Also, in the context they're using it in, do they need the replicas? Are people going to be really examining it? Wait, that doesn't have the 5th button on the side.
But the point
of
the suitcase...
do the people they're tricking know what his stupid suitcase looks like anyway?
Yeah. That too.
It's not like they're tricking, and it's also it's not like they don't know. Their plan is to everyone get a suitcase and go get caught or not or whatever. But it's not be decoys. But as much as the suitcase is part of it, it's mostly you, right? Theseus Scamander is the important part. Know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's the suitcase is only important in so much as you have a thing that they think might be important.
Yeah, so it could be anything. Anything Theseus Scamander is holding is also, an equally useful trick. I guess some of these people are scouring for just anybody that has that suitcase, but I don't know.
Put him in something else.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing they can do.
Also, the way that, they eventually pull off the MacGuffin, it doesn't matter that it's in an identical suitcase.
No, not
Yeah,
at
no,
all.
it doesn't.
It shouldn't be. It would be really
this movie,
stupid to
dude.
put it in an identical suitcase. Like, that's the only way you could fuck this up. Is if it was also in a suitcase.
That's a good point.
Like, I don't know. But then the other important thing that happens, kind of, but like slightly important, is we haven't talked about this, I don't think. Jacob has a wand. He's given a wand by Dumbledore.
Right. Never matters.
No core.
Or rather, never matters in a way that helps the heroes. There's pretty much no reason Dumbledore gives it to him whatsoever.
Exactly.
It's part of the multiple plans. You never know what Grindelwald will secret. Oh, the Muggle has a wand. Oh,
He does see that. He does see that, and he does a thing with that because he knows it's coming.
Hey, man.
Yeah, I
have
mean, do they
multiple
think
plans.
it was going to, like, in that moment...
And, okay, hold on. Okay,
Would that
I gotta
have
talk
worked?
about this because there's so many fucking things that don't make sense about this.
Yeah.
So this is one of the other like 2 or 3 important things that a hero does in this movie, which is Lally and Jacob go to stop. Apparently, Grindelwald's followers are going to assassinate one of the other Wizard King candidates. So they go to a fancy dinner where all the candidates are, and everyone just says hi to Grindelwald and treats him nice because that's how you treat fascists, I guess.
Ask Neville Chamberlain.
Yep. Then blah, blah, some bullshit happens. Jacob sees Queenie and is upset and like goes up and is like, "Oh, you let her go. I want my wife back. She's not my wife yet, but you know what I mean." While Lally takes the magic poison wine or whatever the fuck and saves Santos is her name, saves her life. That is the second important thing that a hero in this movie does. She prevents that assassination. But because Jacob pulls out his wand to threaten Grindelwald over Queenie, people are like, "Oh, he's an assassin!" And it becomes a big scandal. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's a helpful scandal for Grindelwald because there's like big newspaper headlines like, "A Muggle tried to kill Grindelwald." But there's a big picture on it with that story of Jacob pointing a wand at Grindelwald's face in this news story where we are advertising the fact that he is a Muggle, a man who cannot cast spells.
Yeah, what is that all about?
Yeah, like if they didn't know he's a Muggle, then it's like, yeah, okay, it looks like someone was threatening Grindelwald. That's a problem and makes him look sympathetic. But the news story even says he's a Muggle. Everyone knows he's a Muggle, as in a person who can't use a wand. So he was just pointing a stick at a man's face for all he could do anything with it. Like, why is this considered a threat? He obviously was not able to do anything to him because you know he's a Muggle.
I don't know. I really...
Hey, man.
I can't even kind of understand what that was.
Do we know that Muggles can't use magic? You know, even if they have a special wand with no core? Maybe that's the secret. Maybe wizard, need a core. Muggle, no core. Double negative.
I mean, yeah, I guess that makes about as much sense as like what... Because Grindelwald, yeah, he will make this like his... It's his, like, rallying call. They're out to get me. They know I'm speaking the truth. And, like, yeah, there must be, which now this makes Grindelwald's whole thing make way more sense. It must be possible for people to steal all the magic from the wizards and start doing it. You know?
Yeah, right? Like it's a speed force. You can actually take stuff
Oh,
from
don't call it that. No. Something else.
Oh,
Anything else.
But wait, hold on. So, like, wizards can be born to Muggle parents, but
yes,
they are qualitatively different. Like, they have a magical skill that a regular Muggle doesn't, and that is why they are able to be accepted to school and learn magic, which means a regular Muggle couldn't, right? Because if any Muggle could learn, then, like, who are they? They're just randomly picking Muggles? Like, what's happening here?
Hey, man.
I don't know.
Fuck knows.
What if
Should
Jacob
we
had a
consider
gun
that everyone's
instead?
just an idiot?
What if it wasn't a wand?
That's true. Why not? Can you imagine? So they're in the train. Jacob, Dumbledore would like me to give you something. And he pulls out a fucking gun.
Oh,
Like a
Dumbledore, I
9mm.
didn't know you liked me this much to give me this old Tommy gun. I'll show Grindelwald what for.
That would have made this movie so much better.
It would have made more sense, because that's what people use to do assassinations. We don't use wands. We can't. It's a wand. It was just, like, it would introduce the dumbest plot hole in this whole movie, which is why don't people just shoot the wizards? And they can't actually deal with that, so it has to just, I don't know, they have to pretend that's not an option. But yeah, I mean, that's what he should be doing.
Oh, God.
But, yeah, so, we didn't talk about this. Kama joins Grindelwald, kind of, maybe, or not.
So Kama is sent to spy on Grindelwald, but when he shows up, Grindelwald is like, "You're here to spy on me." And Kama says, "Yes, but actually, I want to spy on Dumbledore for you." And Grindelwald's like, "Hey, person I have who reads minds, is he telling the truth?" "Yup." "Okay, cool. You're with us now, pal." And then later he's like, "I know you were lying to me before, even though my mind reader said that you weren't. But you're from a pure wizard bloodline. So you should join me anyway, because we're really cool." And then there's supposed to be a moment of tension where, in a later scene where we don't know if he's turned or not. But I have absolutely no connection to this character and could not possibly care less.
Yeah, I mean...
Also, don't just real quick, don't be mad at me for removing the memory of your sister. I hope that didn't mean a lot to you.
That was insane.
The memory of my what?
Of his sister.
My
I
what?
just, like, normalized it.
Wait, the memory of my what?
Sister.
Diggins,
What?
you're really bumped. Here, real quick, there's something floating above your head. Just grab that and stuff it back into your ear. Then you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so let's do this again. You're Grindelwald, I'm Kama.
Yep.
Go, start over. Go on, DJ, you start.
Okay.
I'm sorry for...
I'm sorry for...
What were you just saying, DJ?
Deleting the memory of my wife?
What?
Oh my god, DJ, you're Grindelwald!
Oh, God. I've lost the thread of this bit.
Here, I'll be Grindelwald. We'll
Okay.
replace Grindelwald mid-scene like they did in the movie.
Okay, sure.
I'm older, more handsome Grindelwald. I don't know if he's older than Johnny Depp. Hey, Mr. Kama, I am sorry for destroying the memory of your sister.
Memory of my what?
Oh, no. It didn't work. Oh, wait, are you talking about half-sister or something? Or whatever the fuck that was?
I don't think I have any sisters. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, no. Now I've lost the thread. DJ, you want to take another shot at this Johnny Depp?
Yeah,
one?
let me try it. Actually, can I do Colin Farrell?
Sure.
All right, but I'm going to do as the Penguin.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Okay. Hey, Kama. Sorry for taking away the memory of your sister.
Memory of my what?
The memory of your sister.
What are you talking about?
There's there was you had a sister, Lestrange, and you loved her so much. Aren't you upset I took away the memory of her?
I think I would remember if I had a sister, Grindelwald.
Oh no! Someone get the Batman! I got him.
Also, like, what memory does he takes a memory of your sister, but does he take the fact that you had the sister? If someone else was like, you and your sister, it was her, you'd be like, is it like Spider-Man? I guess where, like, you don't birth certificate anymore? Probably not. So, yeah, they should just show him one of those, like, pictures that is the 3D, wizard image. That would work.
What does he think happened in the last movie now? Like, when he thinks about that, what went down?
Also, why does Grindelwald even give a shit? And I guess part of the question is also, why do we give a shit? Like, why are we even watching this guy in the movie?
There's absolutely no reason.
Like, you sent me to spy. Okay.
Of the many, many pointless characters in this movie, he might be the most pointless out of, like, the hero cast.
Absolutely. Because he's gone for a while, and you kind of forget. Like,
and also, he never does anything.
Yeah, well, he has the fake assassination that's not real anyway. Or not like assassination, but he also has a bonk on the head moment, I think, at the end. But then he reveals that he is, in fact, cool, and he's a good guy, right?
Because...
Yeah.
The toy. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that moment of doubt where you're like, oh no, has he actually joined Grindelwald for real? And he takes out all the other Grindelwald dudes. And you're like, no, he's good guy. And I'm like, I barely remember this guy's name. And if you put a gun to my head, I could not tell you a single personality trait of his.
What if
so powerful.
Yeah, what if I put a wand to your head? Would that change things?
He has his powerful blood. His blood is so powerful because of his family. His family gives him powerful blood. Guys, how many times can we talk about how powerful your blood is if you're from a good family in this movie that's supposedly about how fascism is bad?
It's just so important, It's insane how much the Harry Potter franchise is based around powerful blood.
Also, sacrifice. That's part of it, too, I think. Right? Something about sacrifice?
Yeah, that comes up.
Guys, it's about cats.
Oh, fuck, it's about cats.
Now, okay.
Such an idiot.
So all the characters meet again at Hogwarts, right? This is this point where we're going to find out the
Yeah,
suitcase
we're
thing.
finally
the
here.
Point, yeah.
Yeah, so what the fuck is any of this shit? What is this?
Oh my god.
Remember how much you like Harry Potter, guys? Remember?
What are things that would remind me of Harry Potter?
Well, we can see the castle of Hogwarts.
Oh,
Maybe have some
yeah.
people playing Quidditch.
Oh,
we have
that's
that John
just-
Williams Hogwarts theme playing.
Fantastic.
Oh, I love that shit.
We
It's
go
my
in
jam.
the big dining hall where a lot of scenes
Oh my god.
were.
They
That's
were
from
unlimited
Hogwarts.
food. You get so fat.
I love it. Is McGonagall in this movie again? Yes, she
Yes.
is. Still shouldn't have been born yet or something in the timeline, but they don't care anymore. I think that's cool.
Put Snape in the movie.
Yeah, put fucking
Nothing
Ginny
matters.
Weasley in the movie at this point. Just
Yeah.
other characters just popping in. I'm in it now. Who knows? So what's the plan?
It's a good old 3-card Monty.
But there's 6 of
plan.
them. Well, hold on. There should be 7 of them.
Oh, yes, there should be, but there's 5.
Wait a second. Nah, never mind. Go on. That doesn't seem important. I feel like this movie is made for children who can't even count, maybe. But, yeah, it doesn't seem like the right way to do a movie like this.
But yeah, right. There were 5. There were 5 briefcases, but there should have been 7. But fuck it. But yes, they have the Chillin', the real one.
Yep.
And the plan is that they have to play keep away from all Grindelwald's minions, so they can get the Chillin' to not bow in front of Grindelwald, and then everyone in the election will be like, "Oh, we can't vote for Grindelwald. He's a fascist."
I don't know. So if they did the keep away properly,
Yeah.
what would happen? What is their goal? It's just put the animal in front of Grindelwald?
I guess it's the problem with the climax of this movie and most of the movie. The stakes are very unclear.
Yeah.
So,
Why are they even bothering with the multiple cases? Why have
Because
any cases?
because I guess it's I don't know, if we're playing keep away, then we're really keeping the enemy on their toes by them chasing the wrong people.
I guess it's also weird because this is an animal. If people haven't kind of gotten the sense for it, it's like Bambi, kind of. It's small. It's not a big thing. It's big-ish, but it's not bigger. It's not like a full horse-sized animal.
It's like a small dog.
It's like an animal you could fit in, say, a large case. Without it being magic, you could just smush it in.
But the hole's in for breathing, though.
You wouldn't even need to smush it. It would just exist in the case that they're carrying is quite big.
So, we don't even need magical cases at all. It's heavier, I guess, but,
And it's probably not comfortable for the animal, but you're only doing it for, 10 minutes.
it's so weird that the conceit of this, whole thing is, which is the actual case that is the magic one that can kind of shrink the thing and they can use as a special case. But it could have been any of them. I mean, the person that picked it up would have known, and it would have made a lot of noise and stuff. But by that logic, you could put it in something even smaller that you could conceal, like a Pokeball. They just put in somebody's pocket where they don't have to walk around with a big giant case.
Also, it's probably a good time as a reminder that, the Fantastic Beasts, I don't know, man, maybe you could have used some Fantastic Beasts to do some chicanery. There's no Fantastic Beasting in this movie.
Yeah, wasn't
outside
one of them
the
invisible?
one time.
The Chilin is a fantastic beast.
Yeah, but, it doesn't do anything.
It tells you who's pure of heart, and therefore everyone knows who should be Wizard King, and we don't have to vote on it.
Cool.
I mean, it is funny how by the end of these, we still haven't gotten a montage where he is using the beasts for help,
Also,
riding a fucking dragon in and being like, hey, everybody, I've got a chillin' here with me.
2 quick
Chillin' with my
things
chillins.
we kind of glossed over. One small one, which is Grindelwald, by the way, has used necromancy to kind of give some horrifying simulacrum of life into the dead Chilin that he had, which is how he is rigging this election.
So funny that he's just You might as well have, like, filled it with water or, like, tied little marionette strings around it. Like a fancy wizard version of that.
It looks dead. Like, you compare it to the other one, and it's, like, obviously the dead one.
And it's funny because they do all these fucking wizard lections on, like, a big, giant, staircase in the middle of nowhere. But then there's also TVs of it that everyone is watching at all times. So I feel like you could be on the ground to be like, oh, yeah, that's a real chillin'. But everybody at home would be like, that's not a real chillin'.
Yeah,
I can see its little scar. That's dead.
I got my high-def wizard screen here.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
There's a gaping wound in its throat where a man sliced it open.
Yeah.
That's clearly not a live Chilin.
This is a very, hand of God, soccer moment where the next day on the news, the story's going to be like, evil wizard fakes Chillin'. But in the moment, nobody saw to say anything about it.
The other thing is we completely glossed over Dumbledore bringing Credence into the Shadow Realm.
Oh my
to have
God.
A wizard duel.
Credence. Oh my God.
I forgot about Credence.
By the way, Credence is dying, and it doesn't matter even kind of.
Credence
It matters
is a Dumbledore.
so little.
He's dying. It turns out he's Aberforth's secret son from the same summer that Dumbledore and Grindelwald be fucking. And
Which...
he thought that Dumbledore's abandoned him, but actually they didn't know that he existed, and that's better, I guess.
Yeah, somehow it's like,
And this whole
shit
fight is in the
happens.
Shadow Realm, and at the end, Dumbledore takes him out of the Shadow Realm, and it's like, whoa, none of that was real. It's like, what the fuck? How did you do that? What's happening? What is not real in this movie?
I know. Every wizard can just pop into the Shadow Realm constantly, or some sort of mind prison or whatever, and just do the parts of the movie that wouldn't make sense if they happened in real life because of the circumstances. They could just do them. It's great.
I really was like, when did this movie get the mirror dimension?
Yeah, it really is.
I thought that was Doctor Strange we were doing that in.
It's like a mix between the mirror dimension and then like other characters do inceptions to each other.
Yeah.
But also, the fight between Credence and we haven't really talked about this either. This movie looks bad. I hate the look of these movies, and I'm so glad they're dead, probably, because they are so, like, drab and flat. And I feel like we've gotten past that idea that, like, a movie set in the 30s has to look like it was filmed on, like, it's sepia tone. Everything's sepia tone.
Sure.
But, like, that fight between Dumbledore and Credence is so, like, blah. It's not the worst one in this movie, but it's pretty rough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, because it's all just a bunch of, like, CGI magic effects of Credence shooting his big Marvel laser beams and Dumbledore teleporting, and that's all that happens.
Yeah, it's so weird that for 1 minute in one movie, the 5th one of these, the 5th real Harry Potter, they did spells. Like, turned big flaming snakes and shit into water, and they threw that at guys, and then they never did that again. They were totally taken over to the dark side where all the wands are guns. But sometimes they turn into particle effect bullshit, and that's a little bit of this. But, like, man, this would have been the time to bring back magic in this movie about wizards, because Dumbledore, more than anyone else, seems to know it.
He's supposedly, like, one of the most powerful wizards ever.
Yeah, he's really good. Not really in this movie, although he does some cool stuff at the end, but it doesn't really matter because it's really weirdly edited.
This movie is more interested in, like, the idea of a world with magic than, like, the implications of, like, people could do spells. It's more like, well, we have our own world, the wizarding world.
Yeah, it almost might as well take place on a different planet. Like, and by that I mean a planet that doesn't have any people. Like, these people could not interact with human beings.
What's so striking to me about this one is just, like, how much they don't care about it being a hidden world anymore. It's just like they go out on the street and talk about stuff and have big fights, except they were in the mirror dimension, and, like, go to Berlin and have big rallies and stuff. And, like, sometimes they bother to show, like, them walking through a wall to be like, this isn't in public view, but it's like the fact that it's hidden is just not part of it anymore, and nobody cares.
Yeah. It's really dumb. What else happens?
So then we have this whole shell game at the end, like you were talking about, where they have 7 copies of this suitcase, but they only use 5 of them because Newt, Theseus, Lolly and Jacob are wandering throughout Bhutan, where the election is. Wait, was that you said? That was only 4? Don't worry about it. That's a secret surprise tool we'll use for later.
Also,
listener.
Poor Jacob. I do feel like he goes with the flow pretty well with this. But
yeah,
I love when Dumbledore just takes him and he's like, I'll go with Jacob. But then he gets there and he's like, all right, Jacob, you're on your own. I got shit to do. Like,
also, the thing you have doesn't have the thing we need, so whatever.
Which the thing he has to do is nothing?
I don't know. Yeah, because it's not... I guess he is popular. He should be a distraction, but that's not really what he is. He's just there. It's like they have suitcase detectors and just someone needs to be holding it because it'll go off on the suitcase radar.
But, like, so Dumbledore says that, like, I have something I need to go do. You'll be fine on your own. Yours is not the one with the Qilin, so you can just, abandon it at the first opportunity. Which, I mean, I guess it's nice that he told him that. But then, like, unless I'm wrong, and maybe I am, he doesn't show up again until the end when they're all confronting Grindelwald, right? So... he left to do what?
Well, and he found Queenie. I guess
that's
part of it.
No. What
Dumbledore
he did was he went to get Aberforth to make Credence be a good guy. Except Aberforth isn't what makes Credence be a good guy, because when Aberforth is like, I'm going to go talk to Credence now before he does the important thing, Dumbledore says, no, that's too early. Don't do it yet. And then Credence betrays Grindelwald with no prompting from anyone.
Credence, man, it's so weird that he's in this movie.
And also,
we built him up in the last one so much.
Apparently, some random so Grindelwald gets found before by the Qilin. Everyone's like, Grindelwald's Wizard King. He immediately becomes, like, super evil. Is like, we've got to kill all the Muggles, starting with this one right here. I'm going to torture him to death live on stage in front of all of you.
Live for your entertainment.
And then a random fucking teenager walks on the screen and is like, this guy lied to you. And everyone's like, oh my goodness, Grindelwald lied to us. Well, how horrible. Like, what the fuck? Why you believe in this guy?
Yeah, nobody even knows who he is. They don't know his secret, wonderful bloodline or whatever. He's just some guy.
And I mean, they do need to bust out the other Qilin. Newt busts out the other Qilin. Because... well, even though he lost his suitcase, just like everyone else did, it was burned burned into ashes by Vogel's secretary, who is also a fascist, I guess. Who really gives very little effort into the deceiving Newt thing.
Oh my god, yeah. It's very Hail Hydra, like, in Endgame, where, like, I'm pretty sure this guy's not on my team, but, like, and at this point, it's just like, I don't know. I don't understand what people think these suitcases are. Like, she wrestles it away from Newt. But you don't need to do that. Just shoot him.
Well, that's what happens. She's wrestling with him, and then more of Grindelwald's people show up behind him and shoot him with their wands.
But even before that, why do you let it get that far? I don't understand. It's not like she wants to protect the actual suitcase. She doesn't want it.
Now, you'd think, like... you don't want to make a scene because this is the wizard election with lots of people who aren't Grindelwald supporters. So you got to draw him out somewhere quiet before you can just, like, kill him and take it, right? Except then the other followers, like, stun him in the middle of a crowd and nobody even looks.
Yeah, and I kind of would assume... this is the other problem with these movies. I don't understand... I've always had a problem with the scale of the Harry Potter movies, but I do think they did a good job with Harry Potter as a character of making it clear that he was so famous that if you turned a corner, the person on the other side of the street would know. Like, he's just... everybody sees that kid and loses their mind. With Newt Scamander and some of these other guys, I'm like, I don't know, they've saved the world a couple of times. I think people would start recognizing them, or, like, they would get a reputation. Because even if they don't convict Grindelwald, like, wouldn't the story of Newt Scamander get out?
He's just so plain looking that it's like could be anybody.
He was there in the subway when they arrested Grindelwald, back when that was something they were doing, and he saved everybody.
So I feel like this is part of it's part of the reason why it's complete nonsense to make the Newt Scamander character the like hero of this particular franchise, because in the original Harry Potter books, he's just like some crackpot magizoologist who like wrote a bunch of bullshit about animals that are probably fake that Luna Lovegood likes.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's his reputation, right? He's a crackpot that most people think is wrong about everything. But he's also now in these movies, like you said, this hero who has like saved a bunch of lives on a bunch of different occasions. So it's this weird thing where no matter how big of a hero he is all the time, everyone's always just like, but that's just Newt Scamander, that crazy guy who thinks that magical creatures are real in this magic world with lots of magical creatures. What a loser.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
Also, not for nothing, he's the world's only known magizoologist.
Yeah.
So, like, if there's anything involving animals, look out for Newt Scamander.
But
if you see an animal, look out for Newt Scamander.
I feel like that's part, like, he's the world's only magizoologist is supposed to be like, yeah, it's a bullshit title he made up because this is all fake. But it's all real. He really does all about these animals, which all exist, and it just...
And he gets in big public fights with them. Like, it isn't a secret kept from the wizarding world. The wizarding world sees so many of these things happen that by this point, you kind of figure he would be a guy who's on TV, and you're like, this is a wizard animal thing. Yep, this is going to be something. Because everyone would keep track of that. People know who Grindelwald is in the first movie, and he's the guy that caught him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now we know that Grindelwald is a hero, that Cheelans know how pure of heart he is. So having caught him is a bad thing, actually.
So vote green with your wand, puffs of smoke.
Oh my god. Yeah, so let's talk about the actual ending with the Cheelans and all. Like, we've kind of said all of those things that they are, but not kind of all together. But how does the ending play out?
So Newt gets to the top, and Credence is like, he's lying, but Vogel, the current Wizard King, goes, what does this random teenager know? This is all real and good, and nobody should worry about it. And Newt's like, it's true, he is lying. And he's like, you still don't have evidence. And then one of the people just draped head to toe in robes shows up and is like, here you go, Newt. Gives him a case because that's Bunty, his assistant, who snuck the real second Cheelan in here. So it turns out what you needed to do was wear a disguise and not be the person that they are looking for holding a big obvious case. And that's what it took to sneak past them.
Incredible.
Remember, Diggins,
possibly fucking guessed.
No one can know everything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Also, does Dumbledore have the invisibility cloak at this point?
No.
Fuck if I know, dog.
Dumbledore was only holding on to it for Harry. It belongs to his family.
Oh, damn
but
it.
like, he could use it,
He
right?
should have borrowed it.
Like,
Well,
who's gonna know?
he doesn't know them at this point.
They have an
Oh,
invisibility cloak. I feel like they should at least be on his radar. They're important. That's like having an Infinity Stone. You got to know where all 6 of those are at all times, especially if you're Dumbledore. Also, in this movie, I'm trying to remember. We don't know where the Resurrection Stone is. Where is the Elder Wand in this movie?
I don't know if we know.
I don't think we know exactly where it is now. Eventually, Grindelwald has it, and Dumbledore wins it from him at the end of their last duel in the 40s.
Okay.
So in the 5th movie, that's when that'll come
that
up.
will happen in the 5th movie. It's gonna be pretty cool. Even though they do have a duel in this movie, anyway.
Kinda.
Yeah, kind of. It's weird. This is the first time I feel like we've ever seen this.
So that happens. He shows out, the Cheelan comes out and is like, he's not pure of heart. Dumbledore is pure of heart. And Dumbledore's like, I don't want to be Wizard King. And so conveniently someone else, Santos, one of the people running for Wizard King, is also pure of heart. So she gets to be Wizard King now.
You'd also just kind of be like, well, now that that's over with the first Cheelan, we don't need to use this as we could just vote. We don't.
Guys,
Cheelan doesn't need to pick. We just know not to pick Grindelwald.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, even if you don't believe us or whatever, or you think that his is still above board or something, we've just clearly demonstrated that different Cheelans could think different things then, and we should just vote instead of doing the Cheelan thing.
Yeah. But no, and that is why it is the neoliberal Harry Potter. It's like, okay, let's do our stupid Cheelan, but let's do it for real this time. In a way that gets a good leader.
But yeah, then Grindelwald is super mad and tries to kill Credence. Even though Credence really, he betrayed you, but he's really not the reason this fell apart. So I don't know why you're mad at him.
Also, Credence is like pretty much dead at this point. He's been
Yeah, and you
stumbling
know-
around
Yeah,
this
right.
whole movie. Like, not a huge problem with Dumbledore or Grindelwald.
But Grindelwald tries to kill Credence, and then Aberforth and Dumbledore both try to protect him. And doing this drags both Dumbledore and Grindelwald into their shared blood magic mind palace, where
Yep.
they have a sick wizard fight.
It's so weird.
Sick.
It's like wizard karate, magic. Like they're blocking the wands with each other's like arms. It's so weird. We've never seen this before.
Yeah.
It's like the scene in the good G.I. Joe movie where Dwayne The Rock Johnson and
Snake
somebody
Eyes?
else, I can't remember, fight with guns. What'd you say?
Snake Eyes?
Snake Eyes. Was a
No,
good
no,
movie.
no, you monster. No. G.I. Joe. I want to say it's called Retaliation, but that might be a video game. I don't know. But yeah, they like punch each other while holding guns, and it's like, yeah, that's not what those are for. But that's what they are in this. They are both wands, and like they use them like they would use like little batons. But also they do spells sometimes. It's weird. And then the movie's pretty much over, except there's an extra 10 minutes tacked on for some reason. Who knows why?
This stupid fucking wedding, and Tina shows up. It's so dumb, dude.
Yeah, so Diggins, you want to talk about the Jenny Nicholson tweet that this is kind of in reference to?
Oh, I'm actually not sure which one you mean.
Okay. So Jenny asked the other day on Twitter, before I'd seen this movie, was like, hey, did anybody else feel like there is an extra 10 minutes of this movie that was added in reshoots in case they didn't make them to close up all the plot lines? And that is what this is, right? They're just not making more of these, and this is all the plot lines comfortably closing up.
I mean, if that were the case, right? Like, what's so dumb
kinda.
is this movie could have been a trilogy, but like they could have wrapped it up here, right? Like Dumbledore could get Grindelwald, trilogy over. Like, how on earth would there be 2 more movies?
I don't know.
Doesn't add up. Doesn't add up.
I have no idea. Like, and that's why, because they just threw this stuff in. It's funny too, because this is the third movie that pretty much ends with it being like, all right, now it's a happy ending for Jacob Kowalski. Finally, he doesn't have to deal with all this shit anymore. But you know, if they made a 4th one, he would have to deal with this shit again. Also, we didn't really talk about Tina.
I gotta say also, like, very forgiving of the fact that she became a wizard fascist for a few years there.
Oh my god, that's what I meant. Sorry, Queenie is the Queenie thing. It's such a weird like a weird turd that happens.
I mean, it was an insane
Yeah.
thing to happen in the second movie, where she decides to join the wizard fascist who wants to kill all muggles because she wants to marry a muggle.
He did pitch it as marry who you want. No.
Right, but he's
You know?
famously the guy who wants to kill all muggles. Like, that's his
Right,
thing.
yeah.
I mean, everything's his thing, and he changes his
It's
things
true.
a lot. But yeah, it's so weird because, and I think this does kind of bug me about this movie. Is there's this big effort made to reform Queenie. It's all that's whole Jacob's thing. It's like, oh man, if I get to Queenie and tell her like, it's okay, I love you, baby, it's all gonna be okay. There's even a moment where Jessica Williams' character meets Jacob, and I feel like reads off kind of his rap sheet. This is like the first time they meet, and she says something like, was proposed to by Queenie Goldstein, denied the proposal, or something like that. Almost like,
Yep.
what's wrong with you, dude? Don't do that. It's a very, I don't know, the very weird energy about their relationship through this movie that is kind of almost like the movie's like, they should get together, though. Obviously,
And-
they're meant for
Yeah.
each other. It's like, nah.
And also, like, so in the second movie, he doesn't want to marry her because it's illegal in America for a non-wizard to marry a wizard, and he doesn't want her to get in trouble and, like, have a difficult life because of him. And now they're getting married, and there's been no plot line about how it's legal there now or how he's changed his mind about that or anything. We're just like, fucking don't worry about it, I guess.
Yeah, and nobody gives a shit about I do think it's so crazy how quickly these movies got over the whole she drugged him for years or whatever to
Yeah.
make him want to marry her. So
Yeah, it's fucked up.
it's real fucked up. But yeah, there's a whole lot of things happen in the end to make everybody's stories done, because we don't want to do these anymore. And I think that's great.
I can only hope that's true, and we don't have to do another one of these, because I don't know if you could tell by how frustrated I sound during this whole podcast, but this movie frustrates me a lot because it's so badly written.
See, that's true. However, it's kind of it like if these were more interesting, they're kind of fascinating. Like, I do want to see this story play out.
So that's my question for you guys. If you had to guess what movies 4 and 5 were, what do you think they would be?
Exactly. What would they be? No one knows.
Like, they just keep chasing Grindelwald. Like, the weird thing is, this is almost like movie 5. It's like, oh no, Grindelwald's going to become the president, and we have to stop him because it would be bad if he were president. So, we gotta stop him, and like this is our only chance to stop him. Like, this should have been movie 5, like this movie that they presented. Credence is gonna die. There's a big reveal. So like, you either make this a trilogy or this is the 5th movie. But I don't know, man, it's a mess.
I mean, it's tough too because like trying to figure out what this movie is, like what the future of these movies, like what happens has to, because it's a prequel, line up with everything else that's happened so far. In the Harry Potter movie, so we can't have like Grindelwald taking over a human army and like having them invade the wizarding world or something, because that would be a bigger deal. I feel like they would talk about it at least once in the Harry Potter movies. So yeah, I don't know what they could do.
How it's got to be something with World War II, right? Like how the wizards have to, like, it's gonna wind up where they're like stopping some crazy World War II MacGuffin, whatever, a la Wonder Woman with World War I. Like, it's got to be that, right?
I think we know that that's when the big Grindelwald v. Dumbledore duel took place. Was it like in the 40s, early 40s?
Yeah, 1945, I think.
Yeah.
So was there a wizard World War II? How were wizards involved in the Second World War and the First World War?
I mean, I don't have no idea about the First World War. I think there was like a wizarding war going on at the time, which I guess would be the plot of the next two, is how Grindelwald starts a wizard war that lasts for the next decade.
Yeah.
So is it a coincidence or are they related? Like, is it like, oh, the Muggle world has gone to war, so shall we?
It's got to be a coincidence, right? Because like, what could the relation be? Like, do they have a Hitler? Did Hitler have like a twin that goes and just like, I'm going to do the Hitler stuff, but I'm going to do it in wizard world? Unless sometimes Hitler has like magic stuff. Maybe he steals the Ark of the Covenant and uses that to like start World War II in wizard world.
Fucking bananas.
Yeah, might as well. I also
Why
feel
not
like,
at this point?
Yeah, like Grindelwald's kind of done. Not like in a like he's going to jail, though he should probably go to jail. But like, just, I don't see a future for him here. He's been so thoroughly embarrassed on TV and beaten and everything. Like, he's just done.
Well, the apathetic neoliberals of the wizarding world who were just like, well, the Qilin bowed to him, so I guess he's Wizard King and we've got to kill all muggles, aren't his fans anymore after they found out he cheated. But all the people who were like acclaiming him and were like, I think Grindelwald is good on the merits, they still like him, I imagine.
I guess that's true. But how many of them are there? Another problem with the scale of these movies. Like
they all touched him like he was fucking like Gandhi, in that scene where it's just like, they're like, oh my God, Grindelwald!
Mm-hmm. Where he rolled down the window so they could touch him with their little fingers.
Yeah. That scene must have been fantastic to film with like COVID and everything. That's been like so great.
Hold the windows up. Keep that seal nice and tight. 6 feet, everyone. 6 feet. Wizard.
Who's this, Rasputin?
Yeah.
You tried out Rasputin?
Yeah, there he is. That could be the bad guy in the next one. I have a strong right hand to bring to you, Mr. Grindelwald.
Like 15 years after Rasputin died?
Well, I mean, that's what we thought happened. It turns out he was a wizard, He had some wizard magic.
We go.
So they can tank a shot with a gun and fall into water. That's fine. They just go into the shadow realm. They're fine. Yeah.
Also, since I alluded to it several times on the podcast, obviously how this movie was building up to end was that Jacob would be instrumental in the defeat of Grindelwald, with minimal changes to what does happen, be the person who has the Qilin, because Grindelwald wouldn't have directed his guys to go after the stinkin' no-mage because he doesn't think it's a threat. And then the Qilin bows to him because he's pure of heart, and this magical creature, recognizing a muggle as like a good and important person, is like the ultimate repudiation of Grindelwald's beliefs. But none of that happens, and who gives a shit? I don't care anymore.
In fact, Jacob just gets tortured for a little bit. That's his contribution to the end.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
And otherwise, there's absolutely no reason he had to be here. He did nothing.
And why is Grindelwald torturing him? Just kill him. Use the killing curse. If you're using the unforgivable curses on TV, go for it. What is with these wizards?
Well, because he's so evil that he wants to torture him first before he kills him. Because the second he becomes Wizard King, he's like, I don't need to hide how evil I am anymore. Because everyone in this world is so spineless and stupid that because I was legitimately elected Wizard King, they will never do anything to stop me.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely true with what we've seen. Yeah. All in all, pretty good. Pretty good. I think we lived this franchise, and I can't wait to see number 4. So this movie made not very much money, like 40 mil, I think, something like that. Anybody know off the top of their head?
Morbius levels, right?
I think worldwide so far it's made like 200, which is its budget, and a bad number to make on your opening weekend, which is when you make a lot of your money.
But honestly,
especially with
better than I expected.
Nick Cage movie coming out next week. Oof.
Yeah. I mean, it's got like a week after that, like when Doctor Strange is 2 weeks, so after that I feel like that's really the deadline. But yeah, I mean, this has to be the last one of these, right?
There's so little appetite, and I can't see them shelling out more money for this, like these crap movies, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe Joanne will get her way.
I could see a HBO movie maybe for this, just finishing that story up, but I could
see
it's not worth it though, but it is something they could do.
Release the Rowling cut.
It was, by the way, roughly 50 million domestic, 150 million international. So, 200 million total.
That's better than I expected, honestly. I'm surprised it made that much money.
I think there's a core fan base there to, keep it afloat.
Well, that's including, it's not just the weekend. That's including Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a strange franchise. Because it's hard to pinpoint the problem here. Is it Joe? Is it the idea of these characters? Is it the movies all being bad? Is it the fact that it doesn't have Harry Potter in it? Like, why is it all of them? Is something weighed heavier than the others?
There's no magic. They picked a boring protagonist for this Fantastic Beasts nonsense. So like a lot of that really hinders it, I think. But what do I know? I'm not a Hollywood exec.
It also feels like the canon is causing a lot of, like, I think they would, if they were doing this differently, or maybe, I don't know, had, like, if they were where they were at movie 2 and knew they had to make these better, or at least more interesting, I feel like we would get the Potters, we would get some of those characters popping up. But because of where they already have to have been, they can't be involved. So it has to be just some random, like, professor from Ilvermorny as like the new squad member. So it's all the problems together, and it doesn't seem, I don't know, do you think Daniel Radcliffe would do another one of these if they asked him, like, just a Harry Potter movie?
I don't think they could get any of the originals back, because they're all like, we think it's very disappointing that J.K. Rowling hates trans people.
Yeah.
So is there anything they can do? Is there anything Warner Brothers can do to squeeze money out of this franchise without them and without this franchise that's kind of failed? Where's the Harry Potter money?
Wouldn't they be better off getting rid of Joe?
They can't.
Yeah,
it's
but
impossible.
they can't. She hasn't signed away the rights. She still has them.
They would be. But also, I don't think that would... I feel like even if I were Daniel Radcliffe and they got rid of Joe, I think I'd still want to keep my distance from this franchise. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's not like you need it. You've moved on to other things.
Yeah.
We're gonna get like a Neville origin, or what? How far do you have to go down the chain to get a loyal member of the original crew who still likes Joe and all of her transphobia? Not that I think that's Neville, but just like, who is the highest ranking member of the team that can be the star of their own solo movie?
The deep fake of Alan Rickman Snape movie, baby.
Oh no! Don't you put that into the universe, Diggins? No, it's gonna become true now.
The deep fake movies are coming.
Yeah, and it's weird. I guess it's weird because there's no road forward. There's no TV shows in the works. There's no movies in the works.
There's that big game about putting down the rebellion of goblins. About letting the filthy, degenerate lower classes know their place.
Yeah, like, it always felt like the next logical next step would be the Cursed Child movie or something, which, like, I still think they could do, but that has all the guys in it, so you'd have to recast Harry Potter or just not put them in.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
also, you'd have to make The Cursed Child, which is one of the worst fucking stories I've ever read.
yeah. So like, there's no, I just don't know what they do. It's so weird.
Let it die. Let it die.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Disney has the Percy Jackson movie coming out, or show coming out soon. That was always supposed to be the Harry Potter, like the next one of these, as one of those, like, oh, magical world just before your eyes and whatever. Maybe we could just pretend that's this, you know?
Well, guys, obviously, you know, when Artemis Fowl 2 comes out,
Oh,
that's really
no.
gonna blow the
Don't
lid
remind
off of
Colin
this.
Farrell. Well, would you guys like to talk about things we do like? I mean, besides this, which we, you know, it's pretty good. Do you want to get to our classic segment?
I would
I
love
would
to get
love
to our classic
that.
segment.
All right, let's recommend some stuff. DJ, what do you have to recommend to the fine people?
Oh man, do I have some stuff to recommend? So, I finally started watching Severance, which like I cannot recommend enough. I know Nando already recommended it, so
Many
this is,
a
like,
time.
This is like more of a, oh my god, it's so good. I also finally finished Arcane, but like I was like real late to the party on that one. So the original rec I have for today is a game I played recently called Food Chain Magnate. Have either of you fellas heard of this game?
No.
No.
So it's a game that's set in like the 1950s, and what you are is you're a little like a restaurant stand, and you're trying to like franchise and branch out. So it's like it's interesting in the way the game plays, because the game starts by like you building out your corporate structure, where like you're the CEO and you hire like a vice president, and then like you get all the way down to like the point of you're hiring like food cooks. But like the way the game goes, you have to market your food, which creates demand for your food, and then you make the food and sell the food. So like it's really like a lot of minutia for like how you actually get to the point where you're winning the game, and it plays so strangely, but like for me it's like oddly compelling. I can't compare it to like any other game that I've played. It's a very, very unique, because it's not quite worker placement. It's like limited action economy game, but it's so bizarre because it really is like you're starting from concept of having a restaurant chain to actually like making the food and getting the drinks and doing the marketing to have a successful restaurant chain. It's very fascinating, like the broken down mechanics of this game.
And wait, so what's it called?
Food Chain Magnate.
Huh.
Imagine Magnet like Magnate.
Yes. So yes, Magnate, Food Chain Magnate.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
I will say, the one thing that's like shitty about this rec is that it's a game that's like really hard to get. Like I think if you go on Amazon, it's like $130, and I think it's just 'cause, like it's an old game that's out of print.
That's so many dollars.
Yeah, it's way too many.
Yeah, like don't.
That's more money than this made.
So I would recommend that. It's like maybe go to your local game store and see if they can somehow order you a copy, or like I don't know. If you like go on the internet, there's like stuff you could do or whatever. I know it sounds really sketchy, but maybe like I don't know.
You play it on Tabletop Simulator. I'm sure there's a mod someone's made.
Yeah.
Boom! Thank you, Diggins. You're fucking genius. Go play it on Tabletop Simulator. I'm sure it will work out just fine. But yeah, I really like this game, so I just thought I'd throw it out there. I didn't have many other recs for this week. Sorry. So yeah, that's what I got.
All right, Diggins. What about you?
Oh, sorry, I totally forgot. Too Hot to Handle Season 3.
Oh.
If you like the other ones, you'll like this one. Yeah, I realized I was watching that a bunch. Duh.
What if I didn't like the other
Too Hot
ones?
to Handle Season 3. Huh?
What if I didn't like the second one or the first one, but some of the beginnings of them?
Avoid at all costs. You will not like this one.
It's all right. I'll just watch the
They
Ultimatum
can't get the
again.
formula
I was
right.
gonna say, just
They-
keep watching the Ultimatum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start over.
Now they can't get the formula right. It's only good if you like the other seasons. So yeah.
That makes sense. All right, Diggins. You got anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. I've got one quick one and then my main one. The quick one is I watched Our Flag Means Death, that Taika Waititi pirate show starring Rhys Darby. It's cute, it's sweet, it's pretty fun. It's not like gut-bustingly funny the way I've heard some people describe it as.
I agree. 100%.
Yeah, like I get a sensible chuckle out of an episode usually. But I think the main thing to recommend it is that I feel like you don't quite realize what it is or like what it's going to turn out to be when you first start watching it. And when you do realize that, it's kind of like a nice little surprise. And the rest of it is, like I said, very sweet and like cute. And I think it is pretty cool, some of the places it goes. So yeah, it's not like a super strong rec, because I don't think it's an amazing show. But it's a pretty good show, and it's worth your time. It's 10 half-hour episodes, you know? It's like 5 hours, you know? Just, if you got the time, why not? But my big rec for this week is, guys, this week I saw the greatest Fast and Furious movie ever
Oh
made.
my god, you bastard.
What?
I'm itching to see it, except for I don't want to go to a movie theater, but I'm itching.
So I saw a little movie called RRR.
Yep.
Oh.
This is an Indian movie, as in, you know, from India, specifically from Tollywood, which is the Telugu language film industry in India. And it is about, so you've got these two guys. One of them is, it takes place in like 1920s India during British colonial period. One guy is a member of a tribe that the British governor of this area has kidnapped a child from their tribe. Just decided like, I want that, and took her. And so he has been tasked with going and getting her back. And the other guy is also a native Indian, but he is a member of the British police force / military, and he has been tasked with finding out who this guy is and tracking him down and arresting him. The twist is, for this task, they are both undercover, and coincidentally, they become best friends.
Oh, interesting.
And it goes from there. So that kind of premise, you can understand why I'm calling it a Fast and Furious movie. Why I'm calling it the best Fast and Furious movie ever made is because this movie is completely buck wild insane.
So I have heard.
It is so over the top, so unbelievably melodramatic. Like, everyone in the movie is taking everything that happens so seriously, but it's all completely bananas. Every action scene is just the most it can be. I don't want to like talk about it too much because I don't want to spoil the things that happen in this movie, but it's just, I honestly like I saw it with a friend who is a huge fan of the Fast and Furious movies. And I said that to him, like, this is what I want all of those movies to be. This is the level of completely insane, over the top that I want an action movie that's trying to be like that to be. And he was like, I can't even argue with you. That you're right. It's so fun. It's 3 hours long. So, you know,
that's just what movies are these days. It's the rules.
You got to be ready for that. But trust me, it is so worth it. I was like coughing, unable to breathe, felt like I was going to die. I was laughing so hard at some of the action scenes because they're so ridiculous.
Incredible.
This is a hell of an endorsement.
I know. I do want to check it out. I wonder if you can download it. I thought about that.
I saw it in a theater, so I couldn't tell you.
I've heard very good things.
It's totally worth it. They're all true. Great movie. Nando, did you have anything you wanted to rec to the fine people?
Yeah, I just wanted to rec. I've been kind of catching up on some other things. I played that game, Vampire Survivor, which I love. I played, still playing some Elden Ring, although not quite as much. I've been reading comics, you know, the usual. I've been listening to or watching this terrific new stand-up special I'd recommend to everybody called Adulting. #Adulting, actually. That's important. You can't forget that part.
Oh,
and
the comedy special by your favorite comedian?
Yes, Bill Maher. It's a classic case of a guy yelling in his audience because they don't think his jokes are funny, but this time he's doing it in his comedy special instead of on TV, in a TV show. And it's really awful. It's really terrible. Don't watch it. I did watch it, though, and it stinks. My real wreck, I guess, I think last week I wrecked, like, I half-wrecked Kim's Convenience, right? I
believe you've mentioned it before.
Yeah, so I've been binging that, and I really like it. I think that's a very fun little, you know, sitcom. It's not, you know, groundbreaking television, but it's good. And it's got little baby Shang-Chi. It's not a baby. He looks pretty much the same. But it's got Shang-Chi's own Simu Liu in it, so it's kind of fun to watch for those reasons. But that's really been like most of what I've been watching. I listened to the first new episode of a new podcast that's like but I don't want to say I would give it full rec. I'll give it another week. It's not written. Well, yeah, I mean it is written, but it's performed from the perspective of Squirrel Girl herself doing a podcast about the world, and it's interesting. It has, what's funny about it? It has I don't know her name. It's not Melania, is it? Melania Vaintraub,
Melania?
the girl. Yeah, she.
Hold on, who is this?
The one from Wolves Among Us, or Werewolves Within, or whatever it's called.
Oh, hold on. I'll look it up. You just keep
whatever her name is. She was going to play Squirrel Girl, Doreen Green, in a New Warriors show that got canceled. So she's doing Milana. Okay, yeah, and she's doing the Squirrel Girl on the in the podcast. So that's kind of nice. They should really just release that pilot. I'm dying to see it because I hear it exists. But yeah, I mean I'm sure the minute we stop talking, I'm going to think about something amazing to recommend, but those are the only ones that are jumping out at me. So
well, you can save it for next week then.
Yeah. Speaking of next week,
yes,
we still don't know.
We don't.
We got some options.
We could put out a poll.
We could put out a poll. That's actually
so
probably
we can know what not to do.
Yeah, see, I feel like our polls have broken the fine listeners to the point where...
We were good one time.
I would have
maybe the most recent time?
I think the last time we did it, we actually listened to it.
And that's why it's even worse. Because the humble listener sees a poll and just knows not what to do. Flashbacks to, the war happen overhead. They just can't even, they can't even process our polls anymore. I guess, I don't know. We should contact the guy and see if he'll let us do Ghost Rider before Emoji Movie. I think that's a great idea.
Just for the trolls, for the lulz.
Well, kind of, and for the
lulz.
Nicolas Cageiness of it. I think there's something there.
Right.
And who knows? Maybe Ghost Rider will be in Doctor Strange or whatever. So
I support just relentlessly fucking with our audience until everyone has stopped listening to us.
So Ghost Rider next week?
Yeah. Maybe. Let's say hard maybe. We don't want to do the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. We don't want to do Vikings. Both of those are probably going to be fine. Or not fine. They seem like they're going to be good, but it's just not as fun.
Enough for us to nitpick, yeah.
I will almost certainly wreck both of those on next podcast unless I somehow don't like them.
Exactly. So we'll talk about them, but they're not going to be the focus of the show. But yeah, I'm not sure what the if anything is more relevant or anything like that. So I don't know. We'll see. DJ,
we shall see.
Do you have anything to plug?
Oh yeah, it's so much to plug, guys wouldn't believe it. Just roses and rejections as always. This week we're covering season 3 of Too Hot to Handle. Yeah, so check that out.
I'm surprised it's not a podcast where you just do a deep dive on every single episode of The Ultimatum.
I mean, if this new Bachelor season doesn't come out soon, we may have to just start really thinking about new content mechanisms. So yeah, maybe.
Why is the Bachelor taking its time?
It seems like it. We haven't gotten a release date yet, and it's usually mid-May. So maybe something happened during filming. Can you imagine?
What could it be? I can't even imagine anything.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong in this series about a bunch of people, young people, getting together, drinking far more than is responsible, and talking and thinking about sex all the time?
Hey, listen, they don't talk about the Ultimatum like that, all right? It's,
It's an experiment to find true love or see if true love exists or some shit. It's a very reasonable, real thing that makes sense. I won't have you slandering its good name.
Yeah, no slander.
Diggins, what about you? You got anything to plug?
Just my usuals. I have my newsletter, a little perspective.substack.com, and I stream sometimes at twitch.tv/thisisanodname.
Cool.
What about you, Nando?
I've got wonderful videos. One of them just went out as of the recording, so it'll been out a day or two. But there's that about casting the X-Men, more of that. And there's going to be one more of those after this. That is the Wolverine one, but that's its own video now. And then I'm going to be doing a video soon about how I think, this is interesting, this is something I came up with on the ride home the other day from being up in Jersey, was what could Sony actually do with the Sinister Six movie? Because I think there's a movie there, and it's not what they're going to make, but it's like how they could possibly turn that franchise into, like, actually make this franchise that they keep threatening us with. So that'll be video. So that's all youtube.com/NandoVMovies. That's all that is. So until next week, I've been at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. We love you.